How are we doing, everybody? And welcome back to the Sean Atwood channel. It is, what day is it today? Thursday. So I'm losing it. I'm losing it today. I'm not going to lie. So good morning, good afternoon, and buenos dias. Welcome back to Rqdaily. I'm Ron Swanson. This is the Sean Atwood channel. We're here with Paula M out the door. And how are you doing today, Paula? What's been happening? Let's fill us in on your life. I feel like you've been absent for so long, and it's been a while since you've been right at the start with us. So tell us how things have been for you.
Well, they've been okay. I finished my treatment on the 5th. So I'm just waiting. I still have to wait until for more tests to make sure that I'm completely clear of cancer. But
Yeah.
it's a thing I was telling you before we got here, that even if I'm declared cancer free, in my mind, I still have it, because
Yeah.
I'm just worried that it's going to come back. And I know I was told to come back on a monthly basis to test, but instead I'm going to do it on a weekly basis. It's just something that,
Yeah. I mean, I think anyone who's gone through what you've gone through has lived with the fear that comes with the recovery of it all, I would imagine, because it can't be easy living with that unknown.
The thing is that, yeah, I thought that lupus, because I have lupus. So I thought that, lupus, that was it. I mean, if I have lupus, surely I will not get something else.
Yeah.
But, it just caught me, I guess, like everybody, it caught me by surprise. And then, but I think I really am convinced that the most of it all is like the fear you get, because it's such that diagnosis is attached to so many negative things, so
Yeah.
it's like the hardest part was to keep positive. And then it's hard for me, I don't know for anybody else, but it was hard for me to keep positive when you're taking medication that's making you physically ill.
Oh
So,
yeah. Well, 100%.
so I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, I'm positive, I have access to meds and blah blah blah, but at the same time you're getting violently ill. You can't go. At least I couldn't get anywhere because I couldn't risk getting sick, because your immune system is down.
Yeah.
And if you get sick, it just makes it worse.
Of course.
So it's, yeah, you know what, it was a mind thing. So that took a lot more of me remaining positive than it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I miss the farm. I haven't been able to go to the farm. I haven't been able to go on my horse. I haven't been able to interact very much with people. So I do miss going at the farm. And I'm still up as a farmer, at 3, 4 in the morning. I just don't have a farm to go to right now because I can't go anywhere. So yeah, I can't even go to the shelter too much because, it's a lot of people there. So I cannot get any illness.
Did you hear about the rather insane protest that happened at the Kamala Harris concession speech?
Oh, I streamed it live.
But did you see the person storming the stage after one of their friends was murdered? They ran on stage, caused a scene, and left. Did you see that happen? I'll show you it right now.
No, I saw Kamala left.
No. This is at the Kamala Harris concession speech.
I streamed it yesterday.
Yeah, here it is. I mean, someone invades it, and you know who this is about. It's about Peanut and Peanut's legacy. Okay, you can see one of Peanut's friends here.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that.
You can see him enter the stand. You can see him plant a small device behind the stage.
Oh my God, Ron.
Okay, you can see him right there. Okay, now apparently Secret Service agents managed to remove him from the scene, but this was I'm telling you now, this was a takedown attempt. This was one of Peanut's friends. He was there to take down Kamala. Big shout out to Peanut's memory. We salute you, sir. Salute you. So yeah, there's a bit of
Peanut a boy or a girl? Do you know?
I don't know. How would you even find out? Like turn him on his back and kind of go,
well, yeah,
his fur, and just hope whatever's there doesn't shoot back into his body. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, R.I.P. Peanut, my guys. R.I.P. Peanut. Freaking. Oh yeah, and the raking. Morning, Maggie.
Hello.
How are you?
I am awesome, and you?
Feeling groovy. Feeling groovy.
I'm feeling cool, calm, and relaxed. Oh,
Good.
Peanut.
Yeah, we were just talking about the individual that stormed the Kamala Harris stage during her concession speech. You don't see this? Yeah. We get to do the joke twice now, people. We get to do the joke twice now because Maggie just turned up. So yeah, you can see it here. One of Peanut's friends invades Kamala Harris's concession stand here, getting ready to take her out the game, and was thwarted by Secret Services. So yeah, it's legendary. I will say though,
Peanut's
today,
cousin came to save her.
yeah, today, right? Because I'm not in the USA and I want to feel part of this election, right? Today, I have a selection of Mountain Dews from America that are they are election themed, right? So we have Liberty Chill, right? Then we have Star Spangled Splash, and then we have Freedom Fusion. What? And then we also have the only one worth drinking, which is the Baja Blast, obviously. But yeah, we're going to drink our freedom today, guys. We're drinking the freedom, and we are getting in the. We're going to. Apparently, this is how is it 50 flavors in one? That doesn't even sound possible. But we're going to rot our teeth and slowly give ourselves terrible ailments in the name of banter.
If you become a superhero tomorrow, then we will know how it works.
Oh yeah, 100%. So 50 flavors in one. Here's to your freedom, America. We are liberty chilling.
Freedom.
It smells like aspartame on steroids.
Wow. Where is Lady Leticia? We're waiting for her.
Oh yeah, she's still recovering. I think she's still recovering from the shock of yesterday. If I'm being honest,
she's so sad. My poor baby.
I know. That's exactly how I felt, man. She was so sure. She's like, Ron, it's a sad day for America. It's a sad day. I'm like, nah, it's not, mate. I said, it's freaking brilliant. It's freaking brilliant. What are you talking about? I was like, we've all still got jobs because of that, man. Like we would have woken up and YouTube would have been a blue logo that would have just been kamalasfriends.com. That's what YouTube would have changed. That's what it would have changed to. Right. So Kaza, I just need to say to you, I now need you to pre-watch every single thing that you link me on Twitter and make sure there's nothing against TOS in them, if you can, because sometimes I don't have time to watch through them all. I don't necessarily mean verbally. Swearing and stuff's okay, but sometimes there's like in the ritualistic stuff, you'll get like a bum cheek or like a risque side part of a lady here. We just gotta watch what we're doing.
I just saw in the comments someone say that Paula looks like she can stand Maggie. Paula is the one who introduced us.
Haha, Paula introduced us all. They were friends first.
Haha. Like I'm not sorry. I mean, why?
Exactly.
Something in the laptop. I wasn't even looking at Maggie. I'm looking at something in my laptop.
Jesus, it's like people just don't understand the concept of adults who have different opinions. Her friends. It's apparently.
I haven't said anything. I haven't said anything.
Yeah. Well, listen, Paula, when does the side chat ever need you to do anything for them to just freaking say something mad to you? Never. Okay.
Never.
It's the side chat.
I guess I'm not likable. That's all.
Look, Paula's breathing awfully quickly. She hates everyone. Oh, look, Paula has eyebrows, so she hates us. Yeah, it makes perfect sense, guys. You're really outdoing yourself.
I'm just gonna say, Paula is the one who gave me all the chances, so people don't even try.
But it's funny about that. It's funny, and actually, let's talk about.
I usually don't have a habit of stabbing people in the back either. No,
listen. I'm going to be honest with you. I have never met a YouTuber like Paula with how open and helpful she is. YouTube has a very toxic subculture where if I've got 10,000 subscribers and you've got 15,000, that means we can't be friends because I've got more subs than you. I can't do any favors for you because I've got more subs than you. Paula is the opposite of that. Paula is the one individual on YouTube who will turn around and hand over every contact she has. She likes to make people mingle with each other and meet and do all of that. And anyone who thinks Paula is anything more than absolute lovely human being to work with, to be friends with, you don't know her as a friend or a colleague. You're just a side chat freaking mad person who probably just has been banned so many times on Twitter for their toxicity that they come here in a sock account and they're like, I hate my life and I'm projecting. I see you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Paula is the one who brings us all together.
Correct.
Just saying. Just saying.
Correct.
Well, thank you. I don't like getting compliments.
But we love. I'm sorry, but we love you. It's too late. I love you, though. Therefore, it's gonna happen.
But I was thinking about, I woke up because yesterday while I was going through TikTok, I hate it because now for the time being I can't get out, so I'm watching TikTok a lot. I've becoming so addicted to TikTok, and then the peanut thing, the peanut. And the guy, he's opening. I don't know if you guys have seen the TikTok of him opening his fridge, and the squirrel just jumped at him, and she's like, and then he grabs the squirrel and puts him on, and the squirrel jumps on him and stuff like that. I was like, oh, and then he's kissing the squirrel. Like he has all these videos with the little squirrel, and the raccoon. And I started crying. I was like, and then I got angry because because of rabies, or whatever it was. They could have held the two little animals, and apparently they decapitated one of them.
Since we're talking about decapitations, right? So on Halloween, there's a place in my town called the Cowgate in Edinburgh, right? And it's one of the very old roads that leads into a place called the Grass Market, which is where Burke and Hare were hung, where all the hangings used to take place. It was one of the big markets of the old city. And there is a long, long, long road with loads of pubs on it and student pubs and student accommodation. And on Halloween, all over the internet, people are picking up this fake severed head in the streets, kicking it around and taking pictures with it until they all realized it was an actual severed head, right? And the story is that an old man was hit by a bus. They just took his body away, cleared it all up, and just left his head, right? At what point have you ever heard of an EMT or a police organization leaving the scene of a crime without the head or the complete body of the person, right? Second of all, there is a very, very, very restricted speed limit on that road and no buses go down it, right? So
that's weird.
Where did this head come from? It just so happens to be at the back of the Parliament and the back of the city courts and part of where the entrances to the underground parts of the city are. It's awfully strange, okay? And I just can't see someone being hit by a bus, their head comes off, the police come, they pick up the body and they're like, did you find his head? Nah. Okay, well, we better get back to the office. We'll just assume the seagulls got it. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. It's not. No, I'm being serious. Like, where did this head come from? Where did the bus come from?
Is that the head from Sleepy Hollow? Like Sleepy Hollow are the men without a head, but like, what? It's not a prank.
No. I'm bringing up some of the news reports because I just don't understand how you can leave a crime scene without the dude's head. Like, legit story. 71 died after being struck by a single-decker bus, and now the police have issued an urgent plea about the incident. Around 7:25 on Saturday, November 2nd, police responded to an incident in the Cowgate, Edinburgh. A number of roads were closed, and people were told to vacate the vicinity, and an investigation took place. Disturbing images and clips shared on social media in the aftermath claimed to show a severed head in the street following the incident. One top police boss now urges members of the public to report them and not to share them with others. I'm sure you do. Right, this image here. This is not the Cowgate. It's very odd. I don't know if maybe the head incident happened further away, and then maybe a bunch of people just kicked it down the road or whatever. But it's very peculiar. It's so peculiar. So yeah, here we go. This is a where the hell is this? Scotsman's Bar. Yeah, there we go. This is what the Cowgate looks like. So, I mean, look at the street. It's cobbled frickin' roads, mate. You getting a bus down there, are you?
Could somebody have thrown it out the window?
All I'm saying is, where are we getting a bus down here? Where are we getting a bus?
But I don't think a bus dropped there because you can't get there.
No. No, the police said he was hit by a bus and his head came off.
Oh, that's weird.
It's weird, right? I'm not saying that there wasn't an old man hit by a bus. I'm just saying, if this is where the head's been found, where's the bus coming from, man? Like, this is what the Cowgate looks like. This is a pub here. This manky wall is a pub. So it's just very peculiar.
Except if it's the magic school bus from Harry Potter, I don't see the point. What?
Yeah, Tony, I get it, man. This is the thing. This is what I'm saying. Tony is when we say us Scottish love a kickabout, Ron. I can totally see drunk Scottish people kicking this severed head down the road, not realizing what they're doing. I just want to say, no, you have no idea. I grew up as a child. I couldn't see like an empty can of cola in the street without kicking it. We are so predestined to just kick stuff. And it sounds weird.
A canet of coca in the head is not the same.
I get it, but it's just been Halloween. It's Halloween weekend. Do you know what I mean? So there was props up everywhere. There's like people all dressed up. It's the one type of year where if you did get caught kicking a head, you wouldn't necessarily be criticized because you could have thought it was a prop. Does that make sense?
Live, love says, would it not be too heavy to kick? I agree. Because you could feel the crowd. I mean, I mean,
maybe, but again, we drink in Scotland, right? Like once I've had like 3 beers, I'm pretty much invincible. Okay, not gravity, not from gravity. Fault, you will never beat gravity, no matter how many beers you've had. But you kick with the side of your foot, though, right? I mean, you know how to kick. Maybe you don't, but you would just kick it with. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that the only way this makes sense to me is if the incident happened in one place and then a bunch of people kicked it along the road and it ends up here. Because
that's for sure.
If this is where they found the head, where's the bus coming from? There's no bus. There's no buses here.
Did the bus come from the other street?
Okay, prepare yourself. Okay, Leticia has braved. She's brave. Listen. We're not going to mention the election, okay?
We're clearly going to.
Oh, we're definitely going to. Hi, Leticia. Leticia, I'm drinking Camilla's Liberty Chill Mountain Dew, okay, this morning. Can we have a look at your Camilla nails as well? Were these your celebration nails and now they're your commiseration nails?
No, it just happened to be blue.
Okay, yeah. All right. Well, listen. We're not going to bust your chops too much, but how do you feel? How do you feel waking up in a new America?
It was really it was sad.
I know your voice notes were sad.
It was so sad. My mom was calling, my sisters, we were all on the phone talking about it and trying to figure out what happened, and we were kind of scared. So we're kind of, yeah.
It's all right. It turns out you all got brainwashed, so it's okay. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
All right. Everything's going to be fine.
Dictatorship and all this stuff. I won't go into it, but yeah, we're
as a Canadian, I would love for you to explain why Trump winning is so traumatizing to American. To some American, I'm not going to say everyone.
No, clearly not. I mean, the whole map was red.
Because of the way he talks, too, is a little scary,
Yeah.
He says he doesn't want to get out of office, and he has the House and the Senate, so he can pretty much do whatever he wants to do. And I think this time he's going to do the things that he didn't get to do because he was restricted. And I see Ukraine going down. I just see a lot of mess going on. I see a lot of violence, protesting like it was when he was in office before. And
that was just AI. Don't worry. That was just all AI. Don't worry. You've got nothing to worry about. Honestly, the guy got shot in the head and was fine. I'm pretty sure your country will be all right. Like I'm pretty sure it's going to be okay. I mean, it might not be. It might all completely collapse. But you've got to remember, it's meaningless.
war.
Right? None of it matters. None of it matters.
Ron,
these guys are just all puppets. All
is
puppets.
are the chat interested in us talking a little about Trump and Kamala?
No, I'm not even interested in you talking about Trump and Kamala. There's nothing I want to talk about less than this nonsense. Okay, we just want to bust our little friend Leticia's chops a little bit, and then we're going to move on, because who actually cares? Nobody really cares. It's all nonsense anyway. So yeah, we're moving swiftly on. But
you girls look so beautiful today.
Yeah, that's because they voted Trump, but metaphorically speaking. I just want to say your nails are fabulous, right? Your nails are fabulous, and I know it was a bit of a disappointment for you, and we're going to move on from it all. And if nuclear war kicks off, we'll all be able to go, actually, maybe Leticia was right. Do you know what I mean? But it won't, because because it's all meaningless. I'm trying to get
Perez Hilton said,
oh man,
he doesn't care for Donald Trump as well, and he said
so we're all just going to listen to Perez Hilton and live our lives the Perez Hilton way, are we? Is that what we're going to do? Is that who we're turning to for advice?
I so want to hear about what you thought about your interview with Perez Hilton.
Oh yeah, here's how my interview went. Sean, do you mind if I come on the panel and ask a couple of questions? Yeah, no problem at all. No problem at all. So then he has like a family emergency, right? And disappears. And I'm like, okay, right, all right, okay, no problem. And of course, I'm so underprepared for everything, right? And I mean, I have no back. I've got nothing planned for this guy at all, right? And I've got to ask questions, and all the questions in the side chat were like, ask him about the secret tunnels, ask him about the conspiracy behind this, ask him behind this. And I know for a fact, as soon as I say to him, so tell me what you think about the massive secret, witchcraft cabal that rules the world, he's going to be like, what? Do you know what I mean? Like, what? So I had to so now 99% of all my questions have just been deleted from my head, right? So now I'm panicking. All I know about this guy is celebrity gossip and Big Brother, right? So luckily, for the love of God, he told me about the Rihanna and the Britney, and I got about 11 minutes of conversation on Britney and Rihanna, which he answered not very much, but it was still really good fun. And for me, it was never going to be a hardcore celebrity put under the spotlight and quizzed interview. It was always going to be a fun interview with somebody who's got some status, had some highs, had some lows. And basically I treaded water for 46 minutes and I was lucky to get out alive. That's the way I felt. But I had a great time. It was great. I love mixing it up. But I will be honest with you, if I thought I was going to be doing the whole interview, I definitely would have done a little bit of background, a bit more background. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see that. I noticed that, because he really didn't have any answers for you. And then he said something about conspiracy theories. And then, he was like, he really didn't have a lot to say about some of your questions. So I understood where you were coming from. But you did really good, Ron.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. That is the equivalent of watching somebody who's fallen off the side of a boat, just trying to stay alive until you circle back. Oh
no, sincerely, Ron, because we know you, and I was looking at how he was answering and being like, oh, this is conspiracy, this is that. I was like, Ron is dying inside, but he's smiling and he's fighting question about Big Brother, and I know he doesn't care. And I know it's hilarious.
Listen, I loved it. I just wish I could have had more. I wish I was prepared to do a better, more entertaining one for you guys, because I would have.
I was prepared when I had him on my show, and it was the same.
It was
really?
Yeah, I did. I interviewed him a while back. Yeah. And it's like, and I don't understand why he does that, because it's like, yes, No. Oh, really?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think
Because
that's just, is that not, do you not get like normal person vibe though? Just like normal person answers who just so happens to have been,
but he's not a normal person. This is why we have him on the show, because he's supposed to
Right.
be somebody.
yeah, I get
He's an
that.
entertainer.
Can you imagine if you had Jag on here and she's like, "Oh well, no, well really, no."
I
But
would actually be all right with that. I would actually be all right with that.
But
I'm
listen,
not,
because he's supposed to be the entertainment guru, so he's supposed to have the inside info. He
I
doesn't
get
have
that.
to disclose
get
all
that.
of his info, but he could
Yeah.
give you a little taster to keep, to keep the audience engaged. I was surprised
Well-
when he said, "Oh, you have mods. Oh, how professional." I thought
Yeah.
that was very condescending, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, 14-year-olds on Twitch in Fortnite have got mods. Okay, just give a comparison here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You know,
Yeah.
I guess you're right. I guess you're right. I guess for me, I think, do you know what it is? I think I just crave and enjoy like an hour a week of interview that no one is traumatized by. There's no traumatic memories. There's no like stuff you're going to hear that's going to upset you. And we're talking about a man who, I wish he talked a bit more about the Rihanna stuff and all that, just because who else am I going to speak to? Who else are we going to call up there's been a Rihanna video? Do you know what I'm saying? But again, it's I know you're all craving. We're all craving to get to the bottom of the story. And I just want to say congratulations to us all. We now officially are going to be referring to the man we've been talking about for weeks as the King of New York. Okay? And anyone who slips up and uses his name, you better damn well have receipts what you're talking about, and you better throw up some allegedlys, because the King of New York is who we're going to be talking about next. And what we want to jump in here is, has the King of New York been blackmailing celebrities? So we're going to read this, then we're going to have a quick look at the celebrities that endorsed these two individuals quickly. We're not even going to say their names. We're not even going to refer to them as politicians. We're just going to say red team and blue team, right? Then we're going to jump onto the Graham Norton show. We're going to look at all the guests that he's got going on. Then we're going to jump back over to the blackmail, and we're going to check some lists, because I've got some questions. Okay. Hi, I'm up here, guys. I'm up here in the tinsel. Okay, Paula's in there in the tinsel.
Ron, did you see what Bono said, that if Trump won, he would drive his car off of the cliff?
Brilliant. I fully endorse that. I fully endorse.
Why doesn't he follow through? Why doesn't he follow through?
Listen,
My mom's friend said she's leaving the country. You're right.
But they never follow through. This is like I remember when Hendrik was like 3 or 4. Mama, if I don't give him candy, he would throw a tantrum or lock himself, or it's like, go ahead, buddy. It's like, that's how stupid it was.
Normally, when a president wins, no matter who it is, I support them. Like, I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, whatever. I usually support the president that has won. Yeah. But this one I can't get behind.
In the UK, we call that bending the knee. Okay, so let's carry on. So Trump Jr., right, peddles wild Diddy conspiracy. Oh, Don Trump Jr., sorry. Don Trump Jr. peddles wild Diddy conspiracy in angry rant at celebrity endorsements for Kamala Harris. All right, here we go. Easy content. Donald Trump Jr. Hinted at a wild conspiracy connecting the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs to the alleged blackmail scheme to compel celebrities to endorse the blue team. Don Jr. said celebs endorsed the blue team nominee and are either on a Man on the Island list or a Diddy party list. That King of New York party list. During a wild rant just hours before the poll opens in an election that could see his father return to the White House for a second term. Trump Jr. Trump Jr. intimidated? No, that's not intimidated.
Yeah, intimidated, yeah. Intimated.
Intimated that Diddy was only arrested in order for Harris to blackmail all the celebrities who went to the parties. Listen, I'm not being funny, but where we're at just now with the case, I'm putting that in my top 3. That's going up there. Apparently, the reason so many have come out in recent months to endorse her. Interesting.
What did I say? What
That
did I
is
say?
not true. That is so
What did I
conspiracy
say, Ron?
theory.
I mean, it does say conspiracy.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it does say yeah. Wild Diddy conspiracy. Just to be
And
clear.
like Shane said, just because he knew these people doesn't mean that he was at their party. And while John Jr. was talking, his dad took a picture with Diddy too. So
Yeah,
we can easily say that he was at a party.
I'm with you, but at the same time, don't know. Why would anyone, even liberal celebrity, endorse Kamala Harris? Well, one reason is because we're seeing unprecedented. What the fuck? Why can't I read today? Seeing that does say unprecedented. It does say unprecedented. Yeah, I'm just doubting myself. Unprecedented amounts of pay for play. Trump Jr. began again. None of this is organic. It's paid influencer promotion. That's fine. We all know how endorsements work and influencer stuff. I'm not being funny, but do you know how many live streamers were thanked on bloody stage by the Trump cabinet? Also, why was Dana White there for so long? Like, Dana White was just hanging about on that presidential speech next to the see-through glitter blouse white bra lady. It was mad. It was mad. Okay, known celebrities are getting paid and are getting probably paid in another way because they're either on the Man on the Island list or the King of New York list or both, Trump Jr. said.
We also on that list.
Say again? Oh yeah. I realize the irony of what is happening here, Leticia, just to be clear. We all saw how magically Diddy gets busted, and all of a sudden everyone's endorsing the Democrats just out of nowhere. The people that were endorsing Trump, well, we're going to go the other way now. I wonder why that is. The Diddy party list, Trump Jr. makes reference to the roster of celebrities and notable figures who attended parties hosted by Diddy, particularly in his renowned white parties held between 1998 and 2009. The exclusive events, characterized by a strict all-white dress code, attracted high-profile guests from the entertainment industry, including Leonardo DiCaprio, J-Lo, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kim, Paris Hilton, Mariah Carey, Ashton Kutcher, among others. While many celebs attended the Diddy public events, there is no evidence suggesting that the guests were aware or involved in any of the legal activities. Make sure you all understand that. Okay, yeah, let's watch all that. Meanwhile, in the terms Man on the Island refers to various compilations of individuals associated. What are you doing here? What is this? Why are you there? There we go. Associated with Man on the Island, the influencer was convicted offender who we were. Yeah, okay, yeah, he totally did that. Oddly enough, former President Donald Trump, oddly enough, the President Donald Trump and his wife Melania have been pictured with both Diddy and the Man on the Island.
What about that?
Well, hey, listen, we're going to get to that. We're getting to that. Various lists have been compiled from different sources, including Man on the Island's address book, flight logs, private jets, unsealed court documents, and of course, it is debatable what effect celebrity endorsement has on voters, but candidates always welcome them. Music megastars Queen of Darkness and the almighty Queen of Light and All Things Amazing were the biggest names to come out for Kamala. Last month, the Queen of Darkness spoke out in front of a 300-strong crowd in her hometown of Houston, Texas. The bell. This is outrageous. Outrageous again. Outrageous. I'm pretty sure her dress was against TOS in that thing. I'm not here as a celebrity. I'm here as a politician, here as a mother. I'm here as a mother. Who's talking now? Is this not his son?
That's Beyonce. You remember when she came to announce Kamala? She said, "I'm not speaking." Yeah.
Okay, I'm not here speaking as a celebrity. I'm not here as a politician. I'm here as a mother. Imagine our daughters growing up seeing please don't talk about the kids. Okay, with no ceilings, no limitations. We must vote. We need you, she said. Swift endorsed Harris only minutes after the presidential debate in September on Instagram post published. Do you know what? It was just an Instagram post. Do you know what I mean? I imagine someone just snatched her phone in the club, right? She's in the club, right? Someone gets her phone, paps that up there.
No, conspiracy theorist.
I don't know. I'll phone her after this and ask her. Other celebrity endorsements for Harris included Bruce Springsteen, right? All-American Bruce Springsteen, man, I'm telling you. Stevie Wonder, right? Mm-hmm. I do wonder. Willie Nelson, Oprah Winfrey, Julia Roberts, Jennifer Lopez, Bad Bunny, Usher, Lizzo. And I'm not being funny, but there's a bunch of names. And we're going to look at the names, and then we're going to look at some lists, and then we're going to scratch our heads and go, a lot of dots are lining up here. Okay. Leticia's going to hate it. Hate it.
That's okay. I can take it.
Okay, so let's go up and watch some stuff, right? Because we do like watching.
You're not reading the list?
I did read the list.
And then Donald Trump had Kanye West.
Oh yeah, no,
exactly.
I purposely left that out to control the narrative of the story and just make Camilla look worse. No, I'm kidding. I didn't see that. Trump included former wrestling star Hulk Hogan, Elon Musk, Kid Rock, Kanye West, Russell Brand, Mel Gibson, and Dr. Phil. Now, I'm just saying, right? It's an interesting little bunch, this. Okay. So we're going to watch some stuff, then we're going to jump over and have a look at some things. Because there's something fishy going on here, right? No, it was up here was the first one. Here we are. Yes, 2.5 minutes of easy content, people. Here we go. All right, I can tell you right now, somebody better say something.
You know, she told Donald Trump that she would they would have a peaceful transfer of power.
Oh, great. Who cares what she says now?
He stole the election. Nobody's stealing the election. He won fair and square.
Yeah, he did. No, he didn't win fair and square. He destroyed Kamala. Fair and square would have been like a middle of the road win. He took Kamala outside and made her bite the curb. Okay, she was destroyed. There is nothing that anyone can say that was America. Whoa, that is.
I mean, Trump beat Kamala harder than. This is the second time a woman has been beaten by a man. You know, if you know what I mean, the Olympic guy the boxer who got in the ring and beat that woman up, you know, and the female boxing thing, that whole map was pretty much red. There was no way, because they had lawyers ready to contest the election because they thought it was going to be much closer, but it wasn't. It was such a landslide. I think that people and I was very disappointed at her thing, because there was nothing conciliatory about her. Instead of saying, okay, we lost and we should take stock of what we're doing, what we did wrong, so we earn your respect, or we earn your trust, because clearly the vote said that people don't trust them. So instead of saying something like that, let's work together. We understand that we've made some mistakes, but let's work together, and we're going to earn
about working together. He doesn't care about Kamala and the Republicans.
He did say in his speech that let's hope that we unite to work together and put our differences aside. He said that in his speech.
Yes.
Yeah, but again, also another way of looking at it is who actually cares. Right. This is where I'm at, right? And this is genuine how I feel.
Never gonna be me in November. Donna's gonna make the country better than you can remember. Kamala's never gonna be me in November. Hey, Margarita.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Now back to this news report. Okay. So
Maggie has a marriage proposal. Yeti Man channel. Maggie the Black Owl, will you marry me?
Oh, yes, I will.
There we go. You might want to do some background checks, okay? Like I'm just saying, right? That's a very interesting look into your life if that's how quickly you just accepted marriage.
It's the second time that someone asked me to marry me in that channel. So
okay. So it's just.
Don't you remember?
Oh, I remember. I was there.
Okay. He looks kind of cute.
Oh my God!
It could be a fake picture. It could be a fake picture.
I can't decide, right? Do you see where he's got that little black circle near his chin, right? Do you see what?
Macarena.
Is that like a tiny bit of beard, or is that a ring? I don't know what that is. There's a tiny little circle there in between your fingers there. You can say, I thought I read Tom Brady. Okay, that's okay. Listen, that's fine. No,
yeah, you did right.
No.
Happy birthday, Ron.
It's not Ron's birthday. Don't start this in the side chat today. We don't need a whole day of birthday wishes again. Not to my birthday. All right. But you could like and share. No, don't be embarrassed, mate. Don't be embarrassed. We got you. Listen, if you're going to type things in the side chat, you open yourself up to chop busting.
Oh,
but like,
no, Yeti Man channel. You're good.
Politically acceptable chop busting. Don't worry. Okay, so that was basically a useless video that I talked over. Let's see what the Queen of Darkness has to tell us today.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm not here as a celebrity. I'm not here as a politician. I'm here as a mother. A mother who cares deeply about the world my children and all of our children live in. A world where we have the freedom to control our bodies. A world where we're not divided. Our past, our present, our future merge to meet us here. Imagine our daughters growing up seeing what's possible with no ceilings, no limitations. Imagine our grandmothers. Imagine what they feel right now.
Yeah, I can see why she lost, man. Okay. Like, I'm sorry. If you're just talking to the women of America and not including everyone, there's a good chance you're going to get.
Well, no, wait a minute. Women of America voted in large amounts.
I'm sure they did. There's just sadly they got outnumbered by sheer basic biology.
They beat us down.
Let's carry on.
Now, those who have lived to see this historic day.
Who's that in the back?
Who are no longer physical.
Oh, who's that?
Kelly Rowland, Meghan Markle's friend.
Who's this in the back? Do you mean Stripey McMad suit?
I do not like that outfit.
No one does. No one does. This is another humiliation ritual right here. Fashion. Okay, that's the ritual.
What leadership is. It's time for America to sing a new song. Our voices sing a chorus of unity. They sing a song of dignity and opportunity. Are y'all ready to add your voice to the new American song?
Nope. No one was. Nobody did. Nobody wanted that. Sorry, Beyond.
Give a big, loud Texas welcome to the next president of the United States.
Don't you look silly now. Yeah, too good.
Sincerely, I think that shows how low Kamala was in the poll because all those celebrities.
Sorry, that was I think someone's dog scared the crap out of me there. Sorry, carry on.
All those celebrity. It's not true that they didn't influence their minions, but Kamala is so weak and she's so not likable to a lot of people.
I would have
unfortunately.
I would have respected Beyonce. I would have respected Kamala more if she'd came out and just went, "Tonight we will steal the moon." And right, that would have been better. Okay, and again, I don't care.
That is a
she lost because a lot of people didn't vote. A lot of people didn't vote. And I believe a lot of the Black community did not vote at all. Because when Joe Biden was in office, we voted like our lives depended on it. This time it didn't turn out. And I know that because she's a woman and she's Black. And I don't think they're ready for that type of
No, not at all. It was just she's allegedly quite into just transporting children about with her pals.
Kamala is not Black.
Oh no! Listen, we're not.
Minority. She's a minority.
Nice try, ladies. Nice try. You'll all go on the naughty step.
She's a minority.
Ron, what do you want us to talk about? You show us clip of the election,
we're going on to this now. So, which celebrities have endorsed Kamala?
Look, she's a minority. Right? She is not white.
I swear.
Anything other than white is a minority.
You're going up into the tinsel. You're going up into the tinsel.
I'm at the tinsel. You're up in the tinsel. I'm in the tinsel.
Right? You're up in the tinsel. Okay, so when we look at these two lists, right, we've got the Kamala, the Team Blue. We've got Beyonce, right? Suspicious. Oprah, suspicious. Taylor Swift, totally fine, but possibly suspicious. Jennifer Lopez, definitely suspicious. Bruce Springsteen, probably, I don't know. Ariana Grande, Anne Hathaway, Jimmy Kimmel, Cardi B, Jennifer Lawrence. Okay, So keep some of these names in mind. See, when we jump over to the Graham Norton show, right? It's like this whole season has got this. It's almost like she's just the celebrity endorsement list for Kamala. We've got Bruce Springsteen, right? We've got Denzel Washington there. He's also involved in the whole conspiracy. We've got J-Lo and Nicole Kidman up there. And I'm not
I
saying
don't agree with this in Washington, what you just said. I don't agree. Except because you said he's part of the conspiracy. And the contrary, most people say that Denzel Washington didn't want to be near Diddy.
Oh yeah, but if he's mentioned in the story, he's part of it. I'm not saying he's involved in it. But he's part of the story of the conspiracy.
Okay.
Like his name's popped up. We're kind of clear across here. It's just there's Demi Moore, Lady Gaga, Colin Farrell, and it's just really odd. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this, well, yeah, then the reason I'm mentioning this, right? If we've got an alleged conspiracy of blackmail all around the King of New York's case, and I'm desperately looking for what connects the Hollywood to the UK branch of the cabal, and I'm looking at the X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, where anywhere Simon Cowell's involved, and now we have Graham Norton, and I mean, I think this is like what, season 32 of his show. Do you know what I mean? This is a long-running member of where does he work?
BBC.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure the BBC don't have the greatest track history. I'm just saying. And it's just it's like there is this weird little club, right? This weird little club. And maybe some of them were blackmailed, but that doesn't mean that before they were blackmailed, they weren't all buddies. And if they were all buddies, they're all sort of starting to appear in the same little clumps in UK places as they are in America. I don't know what any of that means, right? But I know for a fact that if the Pussycat, if Shirt Swinger, right, is involved in or has been moved around, and not involved willingly, I'm not saying any of that. Maybe she was, maybe she is also a freaking, interesting character, allegedly, maybe, who knows. But Shirt Swinger's like best friends with Simon Cowell. Like they are like maybe not best friends, but they're certainly like they're not.
If we're taking the fact that the people that were voting for Kamala, endorsing Kamala, were on the Diddy list, then we have to take into consideration that the people who vote for Donald Trump are people like Kanye West and Russell Brand that also are linked to Diddy. I think it's just that the whole system is rotten.
Good.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Let me just jump back into the names. Right. So what interests me about the Donald Trump names, right?
Yeah.
Is I think this man right here, when he was with Katy Perry, went to America, saw what his wife had to do to get her fame, and then ran home terrified. Okay. And then since then, they've been trying to destroy him. Mel Gibson, outward spoken.
We can argue about that one.
Yeah, Russell Brand.
We can agree with about that one.
Sure, we can. But what to do?
I don't think it's Katy Perry that made him see how dark and horrible and black. Russell Brand.
If you can bring me one Russell Brand criticizer who's willing to put their name to it, I will believe you.
Well, we have an ex-Jaguar. We should ask her.
We can ask her, right? So Kanye West, outspoken about all of this. Russell Brand, outspoken about all of this. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson, outspoken about all of this, especially PDF files and all of this stuff in Hollywood. It's interesting. Now let's just jump back up here.
Kanye West has been accused of so many things. He has been accused of gang essaying someone with PDD.
Yeah, I absolutely. But you have to understand, I have been in the whole predator monster business for almost a decade, and the first thing these monsters do is point the finger at you and say, "No, you did that." It's the classic thing. It's the classic smear campaign. I'm not saying that's the case. If that's the case with Kanye West, maybe he's a horrible person. But all I know is I've seen a lot more of Kanye West shouting from the rooftops about crazy madness than anything else. So I'm not saying anyone here is innocent. It's just interesting little bits of data. Because if I was to do this, in my opinion, these three individuals to me are people that have been out. I mean, he's mental. Like that phone call about him telling his missus to smile and, you know, do things to him and make a sandwich. Okay, mad. But these three to me are people who stand against a lot of the stuff we're talking about.
Well, I know Mel Gibson do, but Kanye West and Russell Brown, they're in question.
I don't know. I mean, listen, you're happy. I'm happy for you to go down that road. I'll happily put a question mark under both of them, but it's a very lightly penciled one because we need more. I need more receipts. Like the Russell Brand hit piece documentary. I'm not believing half the stuff that was in there.
Oh, wow.
Okay, but I hope that the interrogation point is darker near Kanye West.
Say that again.
Like you said that it was like lightly put the interrogation point. I hope the one near Kanye West is a little darker.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Here's some other view on Kanye West. Here's the other view on Kanye West. In fact, let me just change that. The person that used to be married to that big reality TV show family with the big bottoms, right? That man whose last name is like a direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that he handed over one of his family members and then announced their death on stage in order to get into the big bum hole, not the big bum hole, the big bum family rankings. Yeah, I said bum hole.
Run.
I also called I called whole big homie Heavy D during the live stream as well for no reason, right? Why is Heavy D even in my brain? Just moron. Total moron. Like, this is the joys of live television, guys. Do you know what I mean? It's too good. It's too good. So
but yeah, no. Like Mel Gibson, I absolutely agree that he's not an angel, but he has been denouncing the bigger issue for years.
I mean, you know that he was one of the lead producers on that movie that we all love, but I can't remember the name of. Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom, yeah, exactly. With Jim.
You know, there's a part two. There's a part two of that. There's a part two of that. It's called like something of dreams. It's about a wee kid that gets promised a football scholarship, and he gets trafficked to like a sweatshop instead. And it's all about the non-sex human transportation side of the business.
See how he trusted them? See how he trusted them to help him with
listen. Ron did not say he admitted anything. Ron is saying that in Ron's opinion, right, that's what Ron thinks possibly could have been what happened, right? Because yes, I did. I said this. This is something I said. Like, if you want to have a look at the 27 Club and the 13-year rotation and all this kind of stuff, there's a lot of odd things that happen with celebrities and their family. And a lot of it is majorly not reported. Now, I'm doing an interview tomorrow with Big Homie. We're going over two different topics. And one of the topics that he's mentioned is about when we interviewed him, he mentioned that he has been involved in various missions, shall we say, quests to liberate people who've been transported and stuff. And I'm wanting to dive into that a little deeper with him. And that's what we're going to be doing. And I just think if we go through all of and do you know what? We can even just stick with the hip hop scene. There's been so many odd connections to, I've just had a single that's released or a first album that's been released. Then somebody in my family dies, and now I've skyrocketed to the number one of the Billboard charts, right? Where the hell did Doja Cat come from, right? Like, have you ever watched a Doja Cat music video with just the sound off? I'm just saying, if I'm a 17-year-old boy living at home and I'm in my room and I've got that video on with the sound off and my mum walks in, there's some explaining to be done. Okay. There's some explaining that'll need to be done. If the sound's on, it makes sense because you're like, it's a music video because you can hear it, right? But there is some things going on. But where did she even come from? Where did she even come from? Like, if you look at her YouTube channel, go and look at the algorithmics of her YouTube channel. It's wild. And
she came from being a cute light-skinned girl and
listen,
knowing how to sing.
ever since Ariana Grande, right? I've given up now on even just trying to tell what people's races are, where they're from, what the hell's going on there. Like, I'm just, it's 2024. Just because you look like you're a black person doesn't mean you're a black person anymore. And that's apparently the way of the world. Okay. And I've learned that from this panel. You know what I mean?
You know what? We've been rude, Ron, because Diddy's birthday was November 4th. He turned 55.
Oh, we celebrated it.
Happy birthday.
We were noting the fact that the newspapers published the fact that you'll be having a pizza party for his birthday in prison. You know, nothing suspicious about that. Diddy's pizza party in prison. I swear sometimes, right?
And his kids was saying happy birthday to him as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. I mean, that's all right. I mean, that's okay. I mean,
so he's having a pizza party, and you talk to a man that's against Jaguar Ride that his nickname is Pizza.
Yeah, it's all sort of oddly falling into a weird conspiracy pile marked danger, in my opinion.
I will never look at pizza the same anymore. There is a lot of pizza.
Yeah, listen, the fact that Courtney Burgess has a car with pizza or for his license plate, but listen, it's a common nickname, right? I mean, there's loads of people around the world that don't do bad things. The nickname's going to be pizza. It's just a bit odd, right? Yeah. Just a bit odd that in this case, the word pizza just keeps popping up. Doja Cat's father is some famous dude in Africa, an actor. He worked with Oprah. Doja Cat in a weird moment meeting Oprah. Oh God, see, GMAT, thank you very much, my guy. Listen, I'm not being funny. We just had a little conversation about Doja Cat, and within 5 seconds, somebody in the side chat has pulled up more a big pile of Doja fish, just like this. See some fishy facts here. So G-mate, thank you very much, my guy. Thank you very much. Again, uncorroborated. No one's confirmed this, but it kind of makes sense. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're not spitting facts. We're just having a conversation on the internet here, allegedly. It was so odd. I agree. Definitely an odd one. But Oprah, we were talking yesterday about the potential of, if the cabal is the business plan and the staffing structure for Hollywood, right? Where does Oprah, the King and Queen of Darkness, and the King of New York sit within the business model, right? And I proposed that Oprah and the Queen of Darkness and her husband, they're the top level as far as regular people who can see these people go. So we can see them because they're celebrities, right? But the people that run them, the people behind them, even if we go as far as like the bankers and the people that own BlackRock, they are rich, powerful people that none of us could pick up from a lineup, whereas the celebrities we could. So I think as far as the public being able to see us level of the cabal, I think Oprah was the old head honcho. I think she was the one at the top of the pyramid up until now. But imagine this like a mafia film, right? Where you've got younger, hungrier kings and queens of darkness coming in now, and they want a bigger piece of the pie. Maybe they've pitched a business model to the upper level. Well, we want to absorb this side of the business and this side of the business, and we'll run it all. Look at what Diddy done. Look at what this is to happen. And I think Oprah is the old management in the way of the new takeover. And I think if she does not do what allegedly is that they want to happen, she could end up in a cell too. And I know that sounds mad, but who thought Diddy was going to end up in a cell? I don't think anyone. Leticia, do you want to make a comment there?
Well, I was asking Paula what she think about Oprah.
Oh,
Oprah was unhinged.
Get
Oprah
ready.
Oprah is as shady as they come.
Allegedly.
Can you imagine? She creates this school in South Africa, which to me was a traffic school, in my opinion.
Allegedly.
And then this is only girls there. They're supposed to be there. That's supposed to be their safe haven. And then these girls are getting pregnant, underage girls, by the way.
Not allegedly.
And then this whole scandal breaks, and Oprah is able to successfully get the press not to publicize it so much.
It's true.
Yep.
You know,
That's a fact.
Oprah is, you know what? You are the company you keep. You are the company. I mean, we don't choose our family, who our family members are, but we do choose our friends. We do keep, especially at her level. And this is why I believe, Jaguar, that in order for Oprah to get to that level, she did what she had to do. You know, she is a puppet, in my humble opinion. And I mean, this woman is always at the center.
Oh, that's
all the
weird. That is
celebrities
weird that you just said
taken
that woman's
down.
always at the center, and she just so happens to be in the center of the
gotcha.
picture we're looking at. That was creepy. And we've got 1,666 viewers. Okay, it just changed. Okay. I hate it when the 3 6s are on the screen, man. It freaks me out. Can we get a like and share, please? And then I'm going to let Paula get back to the rant about Oprah, because she ain't done yet. She might think that she's done, but she ain't done.
No,
yet.
I'm not.
Oh,
here.
I know. Oh, I know, my guy. So can we get a like and a share? Because I ain't going to be able to speak for the next 10, 12 minutes, because Paula's going to unleash the fury. So can we get a little like and a little share? Can we get some ones in the side chat for the mods? And can we get some hearts in the side chat for the panel? And yeah, deal with it, mod. You get the ones today. All right, Paula, fill us in on why Oprah is allegedly a bit of a sketchy character. She's a bit of a rascal.
Sketchy?
Yeah.
Sketchy. Well, let's be polite, you know, because this woman is incredibly. If you look at the background of Oprah, you were talking about Doja Cat, right? Where did she come from?
Yep.
And okay, when I'm about to say, place yourself at that time period, 1986.
Yep.
Okay, Oprah was ugly, because it wasn't even about even being black. She was ugly, overweight, and black. Didn't have much experience, and then she gets her own nationwide syndicated show after she slept with John Tesh, a married executive, a white married executive, who walked out on her, and her first show was How to Keep a Man, How to Trap a Man, How to Marry the Man of Your Dreams. But where does this woman come from? I believe that Oprah was places. And this is, I mean, we just have to look at this. Phil Donahue was, I mean, he was the king of talk show. And she beat him because she got the Hollywood Reporter back then. And it's Ron Burkle who used to finance the Hollywood Reporter even from way back then. Ron Burkle is the owner of Soho House. Ron Burkle is P. Diddy's business partner, who's this white billionaire, guys. Ron Burkle is the owner of Soho House. Ron Burkle is tightly connected to royalty, heads of state, everything. He was the competition. He was bigger than Epstein. Okay. Because Epstein is not, I mean, Ron Burkle is a proper billionaire.
Is it this guy? Hang on a second.
That's him.
That's him. Right?
Ding,
Thank
ding,
you.
ding, ding.
Okay.
And she is there with him. She's there with him. And Oprah suddenly, look at, she's not particularly talented. And then, you know, she got her big breakout role in Hollywood. That's how she became well known, because she did The Color Purple.
She's not really
a character. And Steven, I think it was Steven Spielberg who did the movie Color Purple, and he casted her as a thing. So she started in Hollywood. She didn't really start as a talk show host. You know, so she paid her dues in Hollywood, and suddenly she has this national syndicated talk show. And then because she had the whole machinery of these people, she was everywhere, because they managed to put her everywhere in the press, and they had her to be this ultra likable, lovable. Before you knew it, she was above Phil Donahue, who was a respected person who'd been doing this for ages, and who was just as engaging. But suddenly he stopped getting the positive press or any press at all. Suddenly Oprah was everywhere, which is what they do with people like this lady Doja Cat. Suddenly they're everywhere. These people come out of nowhere. Diddy is not a singer. He's not really a singer. He's in the videos with big
no. Diddy's had some tracks. I mean, I'm not going to be funny with you. Now I understand why.
I need to reach over. He's not. He started as an executive. He's not a singer. He's always
But if you just let me finish. Now I understand, because I always thought he was trash, right? Like, all of his music to me was so subpar to other artists, and now it makes sense how he got all his stuff out and how all this came about.
He was an executive first. He was an executive. That's how he got these people. He signed people, and he got their rights to their music. And once he's made money, then he would sell them their rights. He was so kind to sell them their rights in exchange for an NDA that they would never talk about him, you know. But and he wasn't the big tracks. What's the big guy? The one that got big Smalls. What's the name of the guy that died?
Biggie Smalls.
Notorious Big.
Yeah, no, Notorious
B.I.G. He's in B.I.G.'s video, but he was always either driving or in the background or dancing.
I mean, there's an ongoing joke around that time about Diddy. You know, if you want a producer that's not all up in the videos, you know.
Suge Knight.
Yeah. They pushed out Donahue when he spoke out against Iraq war. Yeah. I mean, I'm too dumb to know what you're talking about, but I imagine Paula will understand.
Yes, of course, Ron. And the thing is that people don't understand. Okay, one of the big people backing all these are people who sell guns, they are the ones who want to keep people in the business of guns, of buying guns. So these people are huge. Their lobbying in the United States is, I mean, even in Europe, you have no idea. When I used to work as a diplomat, you would, I mean, there were it was always a given that we could never, ever say anything negative or bring up these big companies that were sponsoring politicians and even governments, because wars like Ukraine, wars like that are going all over the world, is money for them.
Yeah.
Even in the United States, that with the gun policies, you can talk about anything except that, because they are so powerful. And what they do, we've talked about BlackRock. They own the world. BlackRock and Vanguard, they own the world. I was absolutely flabbergasted how many companies they are part of. And I know people say, well, they only have 10%. 10% of these multi-billion companies is a lot.
Yeah, it's like when Google messes up and they get a $2 million fine, right? Do you know how many seconds it takes Google to earn £2 million? How many seconds do you think? I'm guessing a third. I think a third of a second is probably a realistic amount, right? So it's no longer an issue. It's a cost of business. Fines are just a cost of business, ruining our lifestyles, our food, our water, our communications. It doesn't matter. If you make $6 trillion a year and you get a $2 million fine for stealing a bunch of people's identities or whatever crazy reason you want to throw in here, it's meaningless. No meaningless.
No, but these big gun companies, they have money in entertainment as well, and they have all these celebrities that they have to pay their dues by saying, let's support this war. We have to support this war. We have to give them money for.
Well, listen, P.S. You're right and you're wrong, but sadly, the last person that decided to change the world against war got shot on a set of steps with his missus. Back. When did Lenin get shot? I can't remember when Lenin was shot, but that's what happens when you try and change the world with music. Okay, when you start bringing people, this is before the internet, man, right? And Lenin was bringing people together and going, maybe we should ask some questions.
Jacqueline 11, Paula, yeah, Oprah had a local show. We're talking about her first nation syndicated, and it wasn't that much of a success. Then she did The Color Purple. She got some sort of recognition, but then all of a sudden, out of the blue, this woman with zero experience or anything, who was not marketable back then, suddenly has a nationwide syndicated talk show.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that she's not marketable because her talk show would have 0 people in it, but she did become a success. I think she does have talent, but like you said, I do believe that her rise to power is extremely not normal.
Right, it's not normal. That I agree with you, Maggie, on that.
Gee, I wonder if there's maybe a big secret conspiracy about Hollywood and the whole industry, and maybe we're just starting to uncover it all. So,
but I do believe she was marketable because there is a reason why she's not the only talk show that they probably put in as a plug, but Oprah is one of the one that is.
Oprah was giving out cars and homes.
I'm going to reiterate something for the lovely Madge and the lovely Leticia. Paula, you'll be well aware of this. So in the criminal world, ladies, okay, let's say Leticia and Madge are the two criminals here, right? And Madge is the Oprah character and Leticia is just another lady trying to get to the top, right? And Madge is willing to do more terrible things to babies than you are, Leticia. So she becomes a better criminal because she's willing to do more violence than you are. That is how the criminal pyramid works. There's no nice guy criminals who are like, oh, I know 4 of our boys just got stabbed and shot up last night, but it's okay. It'll be fine. No, you get rolled over. You get rolled over. And I don't mean it like
Oprah a criminal.
they're all criminals. They're literally making children disappear.
I'm not arguing that, and I do believe that everything is sketchy. I'm just arguing against the marketability. Is that how we say that word?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Bref.
Well,
so yeah, it was against that.
She wasn't marketable.
No, let me pick up on that. She wasn't marketable before because she hadn't signed the contract in her soul. Okay, when we say unmarketable, we mean she hadn't paid her dues yet.
Marketable is about what you look like and if you're gonna appeal to a broader audience. Isn't that what marketable means?
Yeah. But the thing is that she had her local show and she couldn't make it happen. She had a local show. She couldn't make it happen. The reviews were brutal. People didn't like her. People, it's like everything enters through our eyes or smells, right? Sometimes you like cheese, it smells foul, but when you taste it, but you're put off by the smell or visuals. You're very visual human beings. Oprah couldn't get off her local show off the ground. And suddenly 2 years later, she suddenly got that she was cast by Steven Spielberg, and she was not even an actor. And she was cast by Steven Spielberg, who's
she did pretty good in The Color Purple.
No, I'm not saying she didn't, but I'm saying that she wasn't an actor. Right. And suddenly she's in the sphere of Steven Spielberg. I'm not saying she didn't do a good job, but I'm saying that she suddenly is in the presence of Steven Spielberg, one of the greatest directors.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a there's something fishy going on when you've got a local cable show and then you're casting a huge movie and then you become the living god of talk shows for America for the next few decades. There's something going on there. I'm not saying
for sure.
I'm not saying what I'm saying is right or what any of us are saying is right, but all of the facts that Paula are saying about when she was famous, what occurred, and then she became more famous is completely true and relevant.
I agree.
No, that's true. That is true. That was never the argument.
I get that. I think sometimes
it would be like me. It would be like me. I'm a YouTuber, small YouTuber. Suddenly you see me with like 10 million followers out of the blue. Because the machinery behind me suddenly decided to give me those subscribers and YouTube goes along with it. And suddenly I'm everywhere. Yeah. Suddenly you see me on all things because I probably agreed to do something.
Okay. I think you were right. I think you just used a terrible analogy there because literally a girl who said Hawk Tua has got a whole career because of something dumb she did on the internet. So people can blow up overnight for stupid reasons.
You know what I mean? I was just trying to give
no. I completely agree with you. It was the analogy that was wrong. Yeah. It's the traditional fame. When they blow up, it's suspicious. At least you can understand the Hawk Tua girl said something stupid. We all laughed about it. Now she's got.
Wait a minute, but you're also thinking of right now when there's internet. We're talking way back then when there was no internet. It was much harder to be well known. So now you do something stupid online and you become famous.
Yep.
But when Oprah was doing her things, her local show could not get off the ground. Her local show was, and the ratings were brutal. People didn't like her. She was in Chicago. This is why her show was about to end, and then she got the color purple, and then she went back to radio because she even came out and said that when people looked at her, she was always angry that when people looked at her, she suffered a lot of discrimination because she was overweight, she was black and she was not, the typical hot girl. She's even said it herself. So she went back to radio because nobody could see her on radio and she could be funny. That's what she said, and then suddenly Oprah. And you see the Hollywood Reporter, one of the most influential, very lefties, which is financed by billionaires and also BlackRock and Vanguard. Yeah. So and suddenly they're calling her a success just after one show. The reporter, Hollywood Reporter.
I'm sorry. These 4 women. I'm sorry. Listen. listen. I'm just wanting to make here right now. Okay, don't let the hair fool you. Okay, I'm all man. I'm all man, baby. All right, I'm all man. Okay.
Wilson.
I will say I have been in a shop where I've been in a queue and I've looked at the security cameras, and from behind with my ponytail in, I'm like, oh God, I look like a girl, right? But you can see my face, Wilson. Okay, you see this, right? Fafangul. Okay, so somebody had just mentioned about Kathy O'Brien. I found a documentary here. Kathy O'Brien,
who was it? I think it's is it Jana?
Yeah, it was a super chat. Yeah, there we go. Jani and Muma fidget toys. Oh, we're gonna have to check out that channel. You know, there's some.
Yeah,
I love it.
There's some stuff to watch on that channel. You can tell. So I don't know if that's what you were talking about, but if you go and search Kathy O'Brien, MK Ultra, Monarch Survivor, all this kind of stuff, I'm going to save the trailer and I'm going to watch the trailer. I don't trust TOS stuff anymore. This gave me an absolute heart attack when I was like, oh my God, what is happening here? But it's okay. It's just nasty science experiments. It's not any form of essay that's been recorded. Do you know what I'm saying? So that is one of the reasons why we've not jumped into all the Twitter stuff, because we've got a great rant here from the man himself all about the gender changing Cheerios, right? Can't watch that one because you might say outrageous things. Then we've got a phone call here, which I imagine is a stage phone call, like a funny edit of the two.
Is that the pillow guy?
Is that that's the Prime Minister of the UK? Oh no, wait, no, this is the Prime. This is the Prime Minister of the UK.
You did not just say that.
Oh God! Wow. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't click show the next screen. So then we've got a bunch of stuff on here. We've got some Abramovich stuff, right? This is somewhere that I'm interested in. It's a minute long. Abramovich saying that Trump is the magician who will bring about the worldwide awakening.
Sure he will.
Super cool. Right, let's check it out.
Gonna bring it down.
Also, in case anyone's keeping up, we're now on to the Freedom Fusion. Okay, we've drunk the Kamala Harris 50 different flavors of Liberty Chill in the blue can. We are now on to, in fact, no, that's a lie. It's Star Spangled Splash. That's the next one. That's the Trump one. Okay, so we're going to get into that.
Okay.
And first impressions.
A lady
it tastes like freedom. It tastes like freedom is what it tastes. It tastes like you all get to keep your guns. It tastes like we all get to keep your guns, and we can say what we want on the internet. That delicious. It's got a slight undertone of racism. I'm not going to lie, right?
No, it's got a lot of racism.
Slight undertone of racism, but yep, no PDF file stuff in there at all.
None of that? You sure?
You might have seen. You may be seeing some things. You may be seeing some things. That is delicious.
Allegedly.
The Trump one is banging.
Ron,
also, none of these are actually Camilla or Trump. This is
you like chaos. You.
Oh yeah. I don't care.
You're teasing Leticia to make her talk about it, and then after you're like, no, let's not talk about that. I don't care. You're evil. Evil.
And that's the power. That's called being drunk with power on my own podcast. All right, that's what that is.
Yeah.
See, this is why if I was a policeman, I would just rob all the people that sold illicit substances, and take all their money, and I'd be like, taking all your money, see you later. I'd be the worst. I would be the worst. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, let's continue.
I just saw a drama must remain on the stage. Trump is not racist, damn you all.
No, I said slight undertones. I said slight undertones. I never said racist. I said slight the man has opened his mouth, right? And some absolute bangers, clangers have come out of his mouth. Like, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that runs deep inside him. I'm not. Don't give him an example, Ron. No, thank you. No, thank you. No,
well, I'm sorry. I'm gonna back this up. And something. I have to
what you've done now, side chat.
I'm about to be 56. And when I grew up, certain things that when I was grow up were perfectly acceptable. I swear to God, I can't keep up with what's changing and what's racist and what is not.
Please don't get me
The fact that
demonetized.
I don't
Please
call
don't get me
somebody
demonetized.
they rather than he or she, that's
Telling
considered
them
me a
sons of bitches
transphobic.
to go
No.
back.
I'll let all that slide. I'm not talking about that. All I'm saying is, I've heard Trump say some things that are dumb things. He has said stupid things, right?
Yes.
That to me you could frame
Heard it.
as a little bit racist, okay? But still the better option. When you've got two shit sandwiches in front of you and one's got twice the amount of shit on it than the other, you're just going to eat the one with the least amount of crap on it, right? I get it. Also,
Didn't you call the virus
no, wait. I'm just remembering my point. I don't care. Okay, let's watch the video.
That was funny though.
Share with you one really funny opinion.
Oh, I apologize. Apparently, Marina Abramovich may be a dark sorceress, but she hasn't mastered the art of enunciating.
There is in Lapland, there is a group of the shamans there who do something called collective dreaming. They will go together in seclusion.
She sounds a lot like those saucy ASMR videos.
And do the rituals with, eating very little food and being in a solitude for a long time, and they will go and dream the dreams. And the dream have to be collective same dream. So coming out of this dream, this once of the shaman told me that.
I don't know about you guys. I remember my first time I took some funky fungus and then tried to do an interview on stage. It sounded a lot like this, Marina. Okay, like I'm sorry, but you're not, just because you're a scary high priestess allegedly doesn't save you from the chop busting. I'm going to put this back to the beginning because I cannot understand what this woman is saying. Have we got oh, here we go.
I just to share with you one really funny opinion. But there is in Lapland, there is a group of the shamans there who do something called collective dreaming. They will go together in seclusion and do the rituals with, eating very little food and being in a solitude for a long time, and they will go and dream the dreams. And the dream have to be collective same dream. So coming out of this dream, this once of the shaman told me that actually the best thing happened in this planet right now is the Trump to be the president. I said, how is this possible? It's the best thing to happen. He said, yes, because he's so irrational, he's so crazy. That's actually create that awakening that we finally wake up. Because before it will be another guy and everything looks similar, but he's so different than anything else. So he's the magician who waking us up. What do you think?
Yeah, he is.
Actually,
in a bad way.
Surprisingly, for a woman who has been declared by a psychic friend of our channel as one of the darkest forces in Hollywood, actually not a bad take. I mean, it makes sense what she's saying, because I think for me, the main appeal for Trump is he is nothing like a president should be. Right? There is nothing about Trump at all, right? And because he's not in charge of my country, it's brilliant. Right?
I know.
It's great, right? But
he's in charge of ours.
Yeah, nah, honestly, we're not gonna get sucked back into it. But that was quite an interesting one. Because
why are you doing this?
Right, because I think it's an interest. But you don't think it's an interesting one, Maggie, that she said this? That she said the differences of this man are what's going to awaken people.
It's interesting. But then after you cut Leticia because she's talking about something also, and I'm just like, Ron.
Yeah, Ron bullies Leticia.
It's gonna, you're gonna really see the racism come out. You're gonna really see the dictatorship come out. You're gonna see that 2025 plan that he's got.
Nah, it'll be fine. It'll be all right.
We're going to see some stuff that we've never seen before, and it's going to shock the hell out of every country.
Nah, I'll be all right.
Be careful, because what the decisions that he made could affect you too.
Yeah, my own government has a hard time enforcing things upon me, let alone another man across the pond. Right, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I am a bit of a handful. Okay, I'm a bit of a handful, and yeah. Okay, but I thought that was an interesting one because I mean, I hadn't watched that before we watched it together, but it's an interesting concept that somebody who has effectively broken the mold of standard, what we would expect from something like this, has made a lot of people. And I'll tell you something else. It's made a lot of people who wouldn't usually be talking about this talk about it, because they're like, can you believe what's just happened?
No, I can't.
Oh no, I can. But anyway, let's move on. So we've got a lot of stuff here that I can't play this now.
Oh.
Joe Biden's what themed Halloween party? That's just a bunch of people in a crowd there. I need to watch through a lot of these, but I'm too scared to do it on the show because you never know what might appear. Okay, here we go. Clinton Foundation's crimes against children. Here we go. So,
can we agree that just because he's taking pictures with most of these, like Madonna, I can see Madonna doing some stuff.
Yeah, Madonna's like 400 years old. Okay, like she's up to something. Okay, she's up to something. Okay, girls, freaking lady bitch should be down at her knees at this point. Okay, but no. She's fighting the gravity, man. She is fighting the gravity. I'm telling you, man. At some point, someone just needs to sit her down and be like, just stop. Okay, just stop. Okay, enough is enough, Madonna. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, please, Madonna. But in fact, no, girl, you do your thing. You do your thing. Coleman, one of the Coleman of these notes, crimes against children. Okay. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Clinton Foundation has a lot of very, very, very long history of children going missing that are in their care, individuals who are. Haiti is the big one for me, right? The earthquake happened in Haiti. The Clinton Foundation was in charge of all of this aid, and a bunch of money went missing, and a bunch of children went missing, and they just sort of went, oh, do you know where the kids and the money are? No. Okay. Do you know where the kids and the money are? No. Okay. It was very much a scenario like that. And if anyone wants a deep dive that's going to take up their afternoon, that is the one to go down. So, and again, I know you don't all like the political stuff. You've got to remember, it's just been the election. Okay, there's going to be moments where we talk about it for a minute. But I understand. I literally have. The only time I'm interested in it is when I can bust Leticia's chops. That's the only reason I'm interested in politics. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else. Right. What is this? Linked.
You don't want peace.
I want chaos always, man, for sure. What is this?
Oh my God, I wonder how this would be going if Kamala had won.
Also, what is this?
Oh no, what the Clinton did to Haiti, it's not only about the earthquake. The Clinton have been doing weird thing to Haiti for a while.
Yeah.
This is another person, Clinton, who's linked to Epstein. And you know what's really bothered me? When he openly lied and said that he had never met Epstein, that he not before the election, not before he was president. And then there were the pictures of them together years before in the elections. And and he was involved in that sweetheart deal he got. I don't understand why these people are not in jail. I really don't.
You know what's really interesting? The denial that they knew each other. And of course, if you go and raid the man on the island, right, and you don't know someone, right, and you have a painting of them dressed as a woman in your house, I'm thinking maybe, right, your story's going to fall apart. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Because these are bosom buddies, okay? Like, I'm not being funny. If you're new to this and don't know about the Clintons, the man on the island, the ping pong, the pizza, the emails, the Podestas, all of this stuff, then
over there too.
It's mad. And the main talking point today was really trying to focus on whether or not we think there's a possibility of the King of New York or the King of New York's arrest being used to leverage celebrities into endorsing one side or the other. Now, arguably, there's enough evidence to point fingers at the red team and the blue team, and we could arguably say that some of them could have been blackmailed. Even all the ones that I said were people that spoke out about it. Who's to say that 25 years ago there wasn't 2 frames of a video where they walked through a party where an underage person that they didn't know was there is in frame and they're in. Do you see do you see what I mean? It's quite a mess when we start bringing in the level of twisted sadistic mind of the King of New York and the man on the island, all of these people that are connected. It just seems that every single person connected to them has a bunch of loose threads hanging off them, and they've got their own conspiracies. And for me, when we get into a realm of that, do you know, Janie, what I'm going to do is, once I'm finished the live show today, I'm going to go and watch that documentary when I'm doing the thumbnails and stuff for this afternoon. And then we'll maybe pick that up tomorrow or Monday. But I appreciate that. I've got the thing saved. Yeah, I do. So thank you very much for the support.
Watch it too.
Fidget toys. Thank you very much. I would share it, but in case it's got anything that YouTube doesn't like and we share the link on YouTube, it can be detriment. So that's why I showed the title and stuff like that. So if you want to find it, you can use the title. And thank you very much for the support. And thank you very much, Janie and Muma Fidget Toys. Thank you very much for the support. Because again, like, you got to understand, on this show, the mindset that I have is, it really falls in line with Jaguar, but it's not because you know, I've met Jaguar and I believe everything Jaguar says. It's 100% to do with the fact that I've been saying a lot of the things that she is saying, but without being specific in the way that she is specific, because I've only known about the existence of the cabal. I couldn't point fingers in a way that had any credibility other than, oh, they're making this hand signal, or they're doing something odd, or they're pictured with somebody who's just been busted, or whatever. There's that. But when we have first-hand accounts from people like Big Homie, Jaguar, of course, Paula is, you know, really hardcore on the Ali Carter story and things like this. She's got, I mean, I say she's got great testimonies, but she's got horrific encounters that, you know, add a lot of credit to this whole case. And then you start looking at the last 20 years of paper trails. Again, the Pussycat Dolls, his producers, the security guards, the freaking the escorts that were interviewed, the lady that was on Soft White Underbelly. When we've got a bunch, I mean, if we're all collectively okay to say that something like DMT, when we all have the same experience but don't know each other around the world, is some mind-altering thing that opens up another dimension, you have to then assume that all of these people, if they're telling the same stories and don't know each other, and we can apply that logic to it, there might be something to this. And that's where I am at with this. And obviously, Diddy is innocent till proven guilty. Okay, I would hate for anyone in the side chat to think at any point I'm trying to tell you that he is guilty of anything. Hi, Leticia. Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, you're down in the tin. Say that again.
Picture that I'm sharing, Ron.
Yes.
This is a picture of Bill Clinton, Epstein, and Ghislaine. He denied for years, like strongly denied. No, I don't know Mr. Epstein. I met him after my presidency, right? In 2003 and blah, 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 right? He denied it, just like he denied being together with Monica Lewinsky. And then this picture was produced in 1992. This is in 1993 when Epstein was a guest at his inauguration thing. There he is with Ghislaine Maxwell. So this picture was leaked. And then he went back and said,
do you think if we look up, right, when the internet became popular, and then we look up at all the times that Clinton said he didn't know Epstein, and we look at how prevalent the internet was, do you think that he just was living in a time where the information just didn't travel as fast, and he just got so old that he just didn't realize and was just saying a madness? Because it seems to me like, if I've got hundreds of photographs taken of me with someone, and I come online and go, don't know them, mate, don't know what you're talking about. How do you even? Do you know? This is testament to what I was saying about the indestructible influencer. When you have photographical evidence, and you still have people in the world that go, well, the Clintons never knew the man on the island. Like, that's the world that we're living in. Do you see what I'm saying? And
yeah,
it's not frustrating, because I sometimes wish I was that ignorant. I sometimes wish I woke up in the morning and was like, do you know what all I care about is, you know, things that normal people care about, like, you know, planting bulbs in the spring so that they grow in that, so your garden looks nice, or like, you know, trimming your hedge, or, you know, like painting your skirting boards, right? I wish I had, my brain would alert me to these things, rather than it just being like, you've been sat down for half an hour now. Do you know how many kids are probably, you know, no longer in existence, she'd probably get up and do something. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, though, that he denied this when the whole thing happened with Jeffrey Epstein in
Well, I was
2018.
trying to look that up and I couldn't find where he denied it.
Oh, my phone folds in half.
He denied what?
Knowing Epstein.
Yeah, denying Epstein. Yeah. Listen, it's Leticia. Remember, when we're talking to Leticia, you've got to talk to her like she's a 10-year-old, okay, who's just picked up the bottle of bleach and doesn't know how dangerous it is. Okay, and I don't mean that patronizingly. I just mean we can't scare. No, we can't scare her. You've got to.
That is absolute.
I'm all
That's
about
absolutely you.
receipts.
No. Let me.
Not conspiracy theory, Ron.
It's not theory. It's not theory. It's not theory, and it's not made up. I don't mean patronizing because you can't understand what we're saying. I mean, we've got to deliver it in a way to you that isn't terrifying, Leticia. Like if I start. Because it's pretty dark, Leticia. Like it's really
you have a good soul.
Really messed up. It's really like I have spoken to mothers, right, who have done unthinkable things with their children, and they just laugh about it. They just laugh about it, Leticia. Right? You are you've got a beautiful, beautiful soul, and sometimes I question whether or not. You got to know the truth. Do you know what I mean? But I don't in any way mean you can't understand what we're saying or you're not an intelligent. I don't mean that.
Well, I have to see it. I have to see it and I have to read it and it has to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, then I'm going to be like, throw it out.
Okay.
Leticia, do you know how hard it is to find anything about that picture? The only reason why that picture is around is because somebody downloaded it and kept it, because you will be hard pressed to find pictures of him before them, because everything has been erased. He went from, let me just say this. He went from, I'd never had sexual relations with that woman to,
I know that.
let me finish, please. To, I jerked off to her. That's not having sex. He went from, I don't know Jeffrey Epstein to, I don't know about his crimes. So when you Google it, you see him denying his crimes. Yeah. But at the very beginning, in 2003, 2004, when the whole thing broke, people were saying, wait a minute, we've seen him around, because people had seen him around with Bill Clinton, and he denied it.
I did read that. I read that he changed it and said that he did know of him, but he didn't know about his crimes.
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate again, apologies for how that did come out of my mouth and how it sounded, Leticia. It was more based on how dark all this is, and you like a lot of people, it's like holding your hand over a flame. Once your hand gets too hot, your brain pulls it away. It's easier for you to go, oh no, I need to see the evidence, because in the back of your mind,
because I will trust the person. If I'm trusting the person and thinking that, why would that person do that? Then I like to dig a little deeper. But I get the fact that there's mothers out there that's giving up their kids and think it's funny and it's not.
Yeah.
I get that there's this dark.
That's the palatable stories, Leticia. Those are the stories that I feel like you can handle hearing. And it's kind of like when Ali yesterday started talking about horrible things that happen to really young kids and all the rest of it. And you can see how desensitized she is to the whole subject, right? And I'm kind of like that. I was at a stage like that where I'd looked into the dark portal so long, right? And again, I want to reiterate, when I'd done all of my research, I used a version of the Tor network, the Onion router, where no images, no videos would ever load, because why would you want to expose yourself to that? You know what I'm saying? So the things that I've heard from people, the sound clips that have been leaked onto the internet over the years, the Podesta video that's on Twitter, say my name video, those are the things that if they come across your dashboard, Leticia, and you click play on them, they're going to change your impression of the world forever. So it's mad. And we've got I've just started working on a big project with big homie CC, and we're going to be delving into a whole bunch of transportation stuff, and it's it's a sad reality, because what we're talking about here, when we break it down, is modern slavery, right? Whether it's SA, the SEX trafficking, whether it's little kids making counterfeit Levi's, whether it's the poor woman from Nigeria who's been promised a job and now she's got to clean houses and isn't getting paid and doesn't know what the hell's going on because she doesn't speak the language. There is more people enslaved now than has ever been in the world. Have a little Google, right? Have a little Google about how many slave traders have been put through the courts in the history of the world. Okay? If you can find me 3 recorded accounts of slave traders being convicted anywhere in the world, you get a prize. Leticia's like, I'm just going to just try this right now. Because I'm telling you, it is mental. It's mental, right?
Well,
and
slavery was legal back then. It was illegal. Slavery was legal.
I understand. But just for fun, just try and find some, right? Because we throw around terms like human transportation and SEX trafficking and all of this, but it boils down to just modern slavery. And there's forms of modern slavery that aren't, and I hate to say this to you, and I hate to use this terminology, but they don't have a shock value for people to be, oh, look at these buzzwords that are going to trigger you and you get your support for my campaign. There's a big difference between save the trafficked children who are being abused and lady in her mid-40s who's cleaning houses for no money, right? There's no difference there between the slavery that they're in. It's just the absolute atrocities that are taking place are completely different. And for me, it's a broader picture that we only really cover a small section of here, which is the worst part, the children, the trafficking, the women, the men, all these things. But there is a massive picture here, and a lot of people don't even get a mention, you know, and it sucks. It really sucks. And it's the same in every country. I just want to point that out. Like, we have got multiple scandals in the UK for the last 100 years about foster care homes, about halfway houses, about children who are vulnerable being put into institutions that have been designed to facilitate the abuse of these kids. We've got an interview coming on the channel next week. A guy called Patrick Vega. He's a Polish film producer, all about his film The Eyes of the Devil, going into this system in Europe where children are taken as babies, and then at 14 they go to recycling, which means they have all their organs taken out and they're killed. But up until that age, they are just serving the SEX trade. And the documentary goes into people who want to abuse children to death, right? And when I say abuse them to death, you know what I don't mean, you know what I mean, right? I don't mean like old Yeller gets taken out the back and humanely shot in the back of the head out the game, right? It's so messed up. It's so messed up that how do you even, I mean, where do you even begin with this with a lot of people? But this is where we're at. This is the world we live in. And with the way that YouTube works, right? I mean, I'd done this for 7 years and then YouTube just deleted everything one day, all gone. I've got a documentary up on my website, projectrook.com, called Hope Dies Here, which was my first documentary after I realized the severe problem of PDF files around the world, around the internet surface and deep web. And I've made 4 other documentaries that got erased from the internet, which need to go back on, that cover absolutely horrific subcategories of PDF file. Because I think a lot of us are only accustomed to what's referred to as the child lover, which is the PDF file who believes children can consent. And it's a wonderful thing, and it's a consensual thing. And that's the most common type. We had a group in this country in the 60s and 70s who wanted to lower the age of consent to 4.
Wow.
They were called PI. They were called PI, the PDF file information, PDF something, but it was PI.
But there's still PDF that wants to make it so that being a PDF is a sexual orientation, like being gay.
Yep, absolutely they do. And the day that happens, you will see one of the biggest orchestrated mass cullings of human beings in the world. Because I'm telling you right now, right? I know a bunch of LGBTQ. I don't know the letters, but you know what I'm trying to say. Forgive me, right? I've got a bunch of friends who are in those categories, and I'm telling you now, they are very, very calm, loving people that will quite happily get the sickles, the pitchforks, and the flaming torches out and go medieval on some asses. Okay, all right.
It's insulting to even try when they try to do that and act as if it's a sexual orientation. When a
Right.
sexual orientation asks for consent, you
Yeah,
have to consent.
yeah.
A
I'll
kid
also
cannot consent.
I'll also say this right now. I don't support my LGBTQ brothers and sisters who decide to wear, outrageous outfits and then take their children along to massive Mardi Gras style events where they're exposed to things they shouldn't be exposed to. And do you know what? That goes for all the straight people out there that expose their kids to a whole bunch of madness too. But for some reason, a lot of the LGBTQ stuff is televised a lot more. So, there's limits with me. Oh yeah. Kids definitely cannot consent. Definitely cannot consent. Anyone who thinks that needs to. In fact, anyone who thinks that, ping me an email. Please include your name, your address, your banking information, your social security number. Oh yeah,
Lady Leticia, your baby.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Husband. She pushed the big red button, and Ian came in. You know what I'm saying? And Ian comes in. Do you remember that BBC clip where the guy was live during lockdown, and then his daughter comes in, and like,
Yes,
yeah, that's what that was. That was what that was. Yeah. So if you think children can consent, please send me an email with your name, your address, your national insurance number, all of the ways in which I can find you, making sure you state I think kids can consent. Give me all your contact information, and we'll have a chat. I will do a whole tour of the UK, going house to house, talking to all you guys who think kids can consent. You, me, and the boys in blue. So yeah. Ron, they teach this in the schools at a very young age. Never mind parents taking their kids these. Yeah, listen. I'm telling you now, right? The best thing you can do as a parent is put the fear of God into your children's headmaster at their school. Okay. Because it's worked pretty well, if I'm being honest.
One of the things that people should be aware of, because I've been looking a lot at this, and I know I've seen this comment a lot. Well, if people don't come forward now, we shouldn't be criticizing them because then nobody's going to come forward. I am of the opinion, given the gravity of the crimes committed against helpless people or alleged crimes.
Yeah,
people should be punished. So that should be a deterrent. So in the future, if they have info and they don't deliver it, because it really makes me mad. How many thousands of kids like Ali Carter are out there as a result of these cowards not speaking out because they were being loyal to they were being patriots to Jay-Z, they're true patriots, those bodyguards. I am not of that opinion. I'm sorry. If they know that, and if they had this information, that their family could have been killed. Ali Carter, this is what really bothers me, because people place less value on Ali Carter or think that she was less scared for speaking out. This woman, given what she suffered and knew firsthand the pain, because this lady had been through a lot of pain. She says that she can't have children anymore as a result of all the things that they did to her. Do you think that she was not scared?
Yep.
So it really bothers me. People will come to their house. Screw that.
But you gotta remember, someone like Ali Carter is going to have way more access to media that she could have sourced herself to blackmail them with. Maggie, your point.
Yeah, my point is, I understand what you're saying, Paula, and I understand that you feel that people that are not coming forward should be punished as a future example. But for me, all I can say is, when you are in a situation, when you are dealing with the devil, you do not know how you're going to react. It's like when people are like, oh, you got SA, why don't you go and just say it? Like, you're you're in the mood of survival. It's not about survival is not about empathy. Survival is not about what is the right thing to do. Survival is how can I stay alive. So if
That's
you're
true.
confronting, yeah, if you're confronting and you're seeing someone that is Diddy do something like that, how can you not be terrified? That person is not maybe not
Coming.
gonna keep, not gonna, but that person is gonna make sure that you never have a career, that you cannot feed your children, that you cannot live.
So
So
basically,
the moment that it's about
I have been in that
survival,
position.
there's no.
I have been in that
let
position.
me say something before I have to go. So
Oh,
basically, what you're saying, Maggie, is that people are afraid to come out and speak about
back
what
then.
they see and what they know.
Mhm.
But I also think that too, that they could save people's lives. It's not just about your life anymore. It's about other people as well. So you have to, I don't know, be strong enough to be able to oust these people so that other people can be free. Because
No, I agree.
P. Diddy,
Who are you? Because like people like PDD, they have the police. Who are
Yeah,
you
correct.
exactly going
Justin
to?
Bieber, J-Lo, they're big enough stars. Oprah Winfrey, all
No,
of these people who have a
Yes,
platform. When you
no,
get
yes,
people,
but
they were
but
they
it's
were
not.
normal
It's
enjoying
not
the
their.
person,
It's
killing.
not.
but
It's
the
not their
normal
platform.
person,
It's not their
ex-
platform.
exactly.
Bieber
They are
is
just
not his
gonna be.
platform. Oprah, not his platform. J-Lo, Usher, none of it. All of their life is an illusion given to them by the cabal, allegedly, supposedly, allegedly.
Okay, I disagree
Exactly.
absolutely with everything,
That's
Maggie,
okay.
because
That's okay.
no. I had 3 murder attempts in my life. I have the pictures to show it. I fought 3 governments. I won all the court trials. I couldn't support my son. There was a red alert issued against me because my ex-husband was so powerful. And again, up until 2022, another trial and another time I win the trial, but it made no difference. And each time I got up and I spoke, because and I could have, you know what, a lot of times people would tell me, and I got a lot of offers from these governments, if you just play quiet, we're going to delete everything that's put out in the media, you
Yeah.
just want it to go away. And I said, F
How
you,
could you
you've done this
fight?
and that. He's tried
you
to
might
kill
be a
me.
little bit stronger than
How?
those other people.
No,
Yeah,
but
No,
okay.
it's not about
how
that,
could you
Leticia.
fight?
It's about the
Did
right
you
thing.
did
It's
you
about the
have
right
did you
thing.
did you
That's true.
have a platform?
No,
What
I
was the
didn't.
power that
I had no
you had to?
platform, nothing,
If
nothing.
if you were going against government and going people that are so powerful without anything to fight against them, you just need to go to court and they will do just a movement for with you. It's easy to beat a normal person. So
Okay,
that's
Okay,
why
so
I'm
wait,
asking.
hang on, ladies. What we're
No.
forgetting here, right, is Paula is in a unique position because she did have a powerful husband. As far as us
Oh,
normal people go, he is pretty much.
Do you understand that the Prime Minister of Norway, that
let me
Okay,
that
finish. Let me finish.
I'm just gonna
Let me
say that I went against a powerful enterprise also. I had to sign an NDA. They paid me money to close my mouth.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, sometimes there is just no, and that's what also one of the reason why I just,
Okay, so Paula, let me put it this way.
mhm.
If you had witnessed your husband killing allegedly multiple children and doing ritualistic
I'm gonna
abuse
tell.
in the presence of a high priestess who is, it's mad. And somebody was saying bringing awareness to DID and survivors. When it comes to ritualistic abuse, DID is an essential part of these people, these monsters' toolbox. They have to fracture the mind. They have to create this medical paper trail of DID condition within these survivors, because what better way to discredit people, right? What do you mean ritualistic abuse? This is a woman who has mental problems. This is a man who has mental problems. This is how they do it, right? And the DID in ritualistic abuse survivors with regards to John Wedger's work and his statements is absolutely harrowing, right? And I mean, it is a systematic, well-versed practice that goes back thousands of years to abuse, and then allow them to live and have no worries that anyone will ever take them seriously in courts. There's actually a woman in the UK campaigning now, and out of one of her representatives' mouths, when they were talking about child survivors of childhood abuse, his answer was, well, kids lie.
Yeah, it's like the woman that Diddy, when Shine went to prison because of it, the woman who was allegedly shot, allegedly,
Yeah.
she has been saying that it was Diddy who did it for years. She had no power. She had no platform. You can sometimes want to go forward, want to say something, but there's just no way for you to do it. And all you get for speaking is losing everything you have ever worked for. That's all you get.
Yep.
So at a point, you have to see about your survival. Like I
Yeah.
said, when I listen to you, Paula, I'm just like, you had power. There was some power that you had.
I
I'm
had
not
no
saying,
power. I'm sorry. No, I had no power. Do you know what it means to have an international red alert for Interpol? I don't think you do. You can't work. You're wanted everywhere. Red alert is the highest
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
Interpol can
Red
do.
alert's not funny
You
at
know,
all.
I mean, we're not screwing around with this. I was accused of child trafficking. I was accused, and this is Google my name, and you still find those things in the press because they had access to the press worldwide, not only in Norway but in the United States. So I know what it is. If you think people say, "Oh, you were fearless," no, I was scared shitless, but I knew that I had to keep going. I would sleep. I a lot of nights I didn't eat
Holy
because I had to make sure my son would eat. And you have the entire world, even nowadays, people are still saying, "Oh, Paula is a criminal." I'm not. I won every trial, but I was against the machinery. 3 murder attempts. The last one was 14 stitches in my head, broken bones. So I was scared, but I also knew I had to do the right thing. I had no platform, which is why.
Shane, are you in the side chat, mate? If you're in the side chat, dopest nerd, I've just Googled your name. Obviously, I knew who you were prior to this, and I just needed to confirm it. If you are who you say you are, I would love to hear what you have to say. Shane, if you're in the side chat, let me know. If not, could I offer you a Discord link, dopest nerd, if you know how to use Discord and you know how to DM through Discord? If that's an option, I can post a Discord link for you. If you're still here in the side chat, let me know, because yeah, I would love to hear what your side is on this. So I'm going to grab a link just now, post it in the side chat. If you don't use Discord, let me know. I'll keep an eye out for your responses. And thanks for being here. Drop the link, please. Right, wicked, fantastic. So for those of you,
sympathy. I have no sympathy for people who keep quiet, because a lot of people kept quiet about my case. And when I remember the press would call me, and then they would say, because they have powerful newspapers. And when they came in, and then they said, "Well, why are you buying?" They would publish the articles. And then after they published the articles, they would phone me and say, "Oh, can we hear your side of the story?" And when I said, "You can come, you can do whatever, here are the documents," I never heard back. Some of them said, "Oh, we're sorry, but we're told that we're not going to report about you anymore. I'm sorry we published that." And I would say, "Can you take it back? Because it's now they're part of the internet." And no, they're still up there. So I know what it is like. This is why when I started my YouTube is like, I had nobody. So I was speaking to YouTube. I didn't even think people were listening to me. So now that I have a little bit of a platform, when I see somebody with another platform who wants a message, I am more than happy to give my little platform to anybody who wants to, who doesn't have a voice or anything. Because I know that feeling, Maggie. I know what it is like when you're in your home, when you're getting beaten up. And you're only safe because somebody was walking by, and you wake up with an eye completely almost out and stuff. Like, I know that feeling. I know that feeling of my son almost being snatched. I know what it is like. If you Google me, you won't find anything about my diplomatic career, because everything has been erased. All you can find is that I'm a criminal, in spite of the fact that I won all the court cases in different courts. So I know what it is like. And people around me, friends, family, everybody, they banded together with my ex. And after it was shown that he had lied and everything, they're still talking to them. And I don't want to talk to him, anybody anymore. But I do know firsthand what it feels like when a crime has been committed against me. Everybody's sitting around looking, ignoring it, and not doing anything. And because I know that feeling, I would never do that to anybody.
I understand, but sometime, depending on the experience that you have, then you will process this differently. Because, like I said, let's say one of the situation that I ever had, like personal, whatever. A teacher, you're in university, it's your last course, a teacher wants to do things with you, you say no, and then you don't have your diploma. That's something that happened to me. I went to court, I lost because everyone was for that person. And then after that, you have other situation, and you realize that when you actually argue and go to court, you just have to start over, and then the system does nothing for you. So that's why I was like, maybe you had something, but like I can see that was not the situation at all. I'm sorry about that. But you have to also understand that sometimes the victim and even the bystander, they can talk, but they have no one is listening.
Yeah.
I
Nobody
didn't have
care.
anybody listening. I didn't have anybody. You know who Jens Stoltenberg is? He is the former head of NATO. He just stepped down, this Norwegian. He was looking. I know the guy. He used to come to my house for barbecue when I lived in Norway. Jens Stoltenberg. He's the former head of NATO. So you know which levels I used to be around. The Prime Minister of Norway, Hillary Clinton, looking at my LinkedIn page because I had a private thing, and it would tell you.
Not think it's testament then with your case, Paula, and how many people didn't come to your aid at that level of fear. Do you not think it's testament then to why people didn't come forward, or why people are scared to come forward? I know you might not necessarily agree with it. I understand that, but for me, there's layers to this. And I'm not trying to be rude. It's just we have to assume that what the Diddy alleged survivors of the alleged crimes that allegedly happened, they must have seen a level of evil that your ex-husband wasn't capable of. Okay, or wasn't involved with, shall we say? Because
no. They were just hypocrites, people who stood on the side of. They thought he was bigger and stronger. You know, they thought he was bigger because that's what a lot of people do. They like to side with the winner.
That's surely what's happening with the Diddy case. That surely has to be fear, control, worry, money. Even Perez last night said, you know, the Diddies of the world can just drown you in legal stuff and bankrupt you overnight. So I understand that people's lives, children, are more important than all of this, but we are systematically a self-driven race. And bad monkey.
Go to survival.
Bad monkey. I have to do it through. In fact, nerd, if you don't mind posting an email, I'll send you the login code through your emails while you're figuring out
because that dope
thingamabob. What's it called?
You know, like when I say that I make
because her feel that dopest nerd is just, for me, it's such a situation that I have personally lived, that you're victimized in front of everyone. You say what you want to say, and then nobody believes you.
Yeah.
And then after you live the consequence, I had to go do a second bachelor. Okay, because my first bachelor, I actually fought. I should have just not fought and just did what he wanted. But I was punished because that's how the world works.
Well, for me, I won all the court trials because I was persistent, and you have no idea. Like, for example, Nana 65 says that I make victims feel even more victimized because I'm saying that people don't do enough. I'm actually saying that people should do more. I'm urging people, if you see something, say something. Yep. How would you feel if it was your child, who was going through what Ali Carter is going through, or your relative, or your sister, or somebody you love is going through that? Just think about that. You know, at the very end, it took me many years, completely broke, you know, but my son, you know, and everything, but I feel I can go to sleep at night knowing that I did the right thing. And of course it's hard. I still have PTSD, and I'm very strict about this, maybe because of my experiences. It was 10 years since 2013. You know, and even before I asked for divorce, I was in a very domestic, violent, abusive relationship. I mean, and I still went and I still called for help. Nobody wanted to help me, but I still didn't give up. If anything, the message I'm trying to tell to people is don't give up. Don't give up. I found out I made new friends, people who actually supported me, who I never thought would, you know. So don't give up. Somebody's out there who will listen to you and who will help you. So I disagree with you, Nana. Sorry.
No, not for sure. I'm not sure that someone is absolutely going to help you. And like I said, there are a lot of people that is just going to destroy their life work.
Yep.
But Natania Rubin is a soldier because
Let's
she
look.
never stopped.
Yeah, let's talk about statistics though, right? So in the UK, the R word, okay, roughly 14% of R's.
That dopest nerd just said, "I am on Discord. Where do I go?"
Okay, I've sent you an email with a link, Dopest Nerd. We'll go through the emails to begin with, and then I'll help you with Discord afterwards, because Discord, it's a super fun, unintuitive platform that goes against all known intuitive layouts, and it's trying to explain what I'm seeing on a PC. And oh, here we go. Lady Leticia has returned. There she is. She's looking.
Hi.
She's went and had her dopamine hit somewhere, and she's come back and she's like, everything's fine now, everything's okay, it's okay. So 100%. So I've got her, right? Kaz has got her on Discord. That's great. I've pinged you an email as well, so we're good. Everything's under control. I just need to ID you, not see an ID, but I just need to see your face on camera before I bring you on stage, because obviously it's the internet, mate. You know what I'm saying? So but I mean, it's a sad tale, because we can sit and bang our head against the walls. You know, whose opinion is right? What set of circumstances is worse? What is the worst sin or the lesson mean for the people that are meant to be coming to your aid? All of this. The fact of the matter is, it's all horrific, right? It's all terrible. None of it should be happening. None of it should ever be happening or exist in this world, but it does. And the more that we shy away from its reality, the more children, the more people, the more men, women, and kids are abused. They're moved around. Their lives come to an abrupt end. All of this stuff is a reality. It's not a theory. It's not the thing that's up for debate here.
I have a question for you.
Hang on.
A question for you.
Hang on. Yeah. Maggie, then Leticia.
Yeah, I have a question for you. How in this world, with everything that you know, like because of everything that I've lived, I don't want to have kids. How do you reconcile that? Are you not scared?
No, they should be scared of me, mate. You having a laugh? Like, you better be ready if you're coming near me. I'm a biter. I'm a scratcher, right? Okay. I'm a gouger. Okay. I got like the wee raptor clawing going on here. Like, I have got like, there's 150-pound drawstring crossbow within a hand's reach of where I am right now. You're talking to a guy that, as soon as lockdown happened, managed to trade off of a substance abuser for a full Kevlar suit of riot gear armor that he stole off a policeman, right? Like, I'm ready. Right? I'm ready.
Okay.
If you give me warning, don't ever give me warning. Because if you give me warning, I'm going to be ready. Right? And I'm telling you now, nothing excites me more, right, than the prospect of being able to do whatever I want to someone and justify it because of your intentions. Because you've done this to yourself, right? You've done this to yourself.
I love Fifi Butterfly run as a very specific set of skills.
Yeah. Well, this is why I don't go after these PDF files in real life. Like, I've got to do it on the internet. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the minute if I was to arrive and they shut up and they just burst into tears and confessed, I could do it all day long. But the minute they're like, but I'm just going to be like, get the cameras off, get the van pulled up, and let's go for some ice cream.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go, Lady Leticia. It was just my question.
Yeah, man. It's just like, it's a madness. It's a madness. Right, Leticia, sorry, carry on.
No, I was going to say that I went against a big company, a big tech company.
Oh, hell yeah.
And went to EEOC, and they did nothing. And it was a really bad situation until later on I was able to get, we had a big lawsuit go against the company, and we settled and everything like that. But my point is that sometimes people don't want to believe you, or they don't want to support your claims. And I think that's a little bit of what Maggie is talking about. You have to fight for it. You know, I know it's not the P. Diddy situation, and, you know, but what I'm saying is that there's different situations.
I've told this woman I've sent her an email and I've not managed to type or spell her email properly. That is what you're up against with me, right? So the dopest nerd at gmail. Oh, how have I spelled this wrong? How have I done this wrong? Let me. I'm going to go back. Sorry to interrupt you, Leticia.
Oh yeah, but Lady Leticia, yeah, it's interesting. I understand better where Paula was coming from.
Me too.
Exactly, because I didn't know everything that she went through and all that she had to sacrifice. But what happened when, like, how much are you willing to sacrifice? Like, after my situation with my teacher and having to restart my university, like having a second diploma, it was horrible. And then you have a situation when you get into the work environment. What do you do? Like, for me, I just signed the NDA and I just, because I'm tired. So I don't know, where do you find the strength to
keep going?
Exactly.
I got sent an NDA when I was trying to shut down a child moving organization, and I sent their lawyer a video of me wiping my backside with it and then mailing it back to them. Yeah. So yeah, I just want to say big welcome to the panel, to the show, to the channel for the first time, to Natania. I hope Natania. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
I love your glasses. Pretty cool.
Gorgeous.
My daughter told me I should always wear my signature glasses.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Let me change into that.
Yeah, I feel the vibe. I feel, well, listen.
There you go.
First of all, thanks so
Oh,
much.
you're gorgeous. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Thanks for so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Listen, just because it's your first appearance on the channel and because it's customary, just introduce yourself first of all. And
absolutely,
obviously, I think people, if you've been hiding under a rock, then you'll need to hear some background here. But I think a lot of us know your story. But please introduce yourself, Natania, to our audience.
So first and foremost, thank you for dropping the link. I just happened to come from the supermarket, turn on YouTube, and here you guys are. I am Natania Rubin. I am the woman who was shot in the face by Sean Puffy Combs on December 27th, 1999 in Club New York. I spent the last better part of 25 years fighting for justice, and I will not stop until God calls me home.
Hear, hear.
Hell yeah. And I think a lot of people in the side chat are going to have some questions. Okay. Can you take us through that night? Are you, is that something you're comfortable talking through and going over?
Let me put on my readers. I can see clearer with these. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Is your experience something that you're comfortable reliving and talking about? Can you take us through the story? What happened that day? What are you able to say?
Well, I can go in and I'm not limited by anything. I tell everybody, if you want to cease and desist my voice, you have to bring Yeshua, Jesus, the Christ, God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Nobody can make me stop talking. And so what happened was, it's been gone over and over. It's on the internet. It's in a variety of places. But that night, I went out with some girlfriends of mine to help one of my friends promote her upcoming event on New Year's Eve. Because I'm a woman of God, I don't go to the club for New Year's. I go to church for watch night service. And I wanted to honor my friendship and go with her and celebrate and promote. So I did so. Like I said, I had just gotten saved. I did not have a drink. I drank ginger ale or juice or something like that. I literally was standing in the corner for the entire night. Something about that night told me I should not be there. But loyalties abound, and here we are 25 years later. When we got to the block for the first time, I had been to that club many times before. It was a weekly Sunday event called Hot Chocolate in New York City. The ambulances were halfway on the street and halfway on the sidewalk, and they narrowed the passageway down to this small. So everybody had to drive through this little thing. So I was instantly awestruck. I said, ambulances? Y'all want to go? What do they have an ambulance for? Are they expecting someone to unalive? And my friends were like, oh, stop being an old lady. Oh, Holy Spirit, come on, chill out. And I just was like, we had been here a million times. There've never been 2 ambulances waiting outside of the club. So I thought that was strange. But, sometimes we disavow our own spirit do not disavow your spirit. When your gut tells you something, stick with it. However, I did. Went inside. When I got to the door, I had a rat tail comb in my pocketbook. The security guard who ended up lying on the stand literally snatched my rat tail comb away. You can't bring this in. This is a weapon. It was a little comb. And she let celebrities in with weapons. It took someone from the internet, ironically, to say, wow, look how God was standing in your favor. He was showing you. She took your comb. You went inside and got shot by combs. I said, mind blown. Somebody just said this to me a couple of months ago. But we got in the club. It was extremely packed. Like I said, it was the day after Christmas. It was a lot of people. It was just hip hop club in the 90s. If you had to be there to understand, it was, as the young people say, crunk. But I stood in the corner. At a certain point in the night, they started to move through. And mind you, I had only been in the club an hour and 15 minutes when I got shot.
Wow. How long have you been there? How long have you been in the club? Sorry?
An hour and 15 minutes before I got nothing. So they started to proceed towards the doorway, and the dance floor is dropped down. You have to descend steps to go to the dance floor. They started to ascend the steps and walk. One side is the bar and one side is where I was standing, by this wall and VIP. They ascended the stairs and started making their way to the front door. And so it's their entourage, it's hangers on that want to move wherever the celebrities move. And they all started moving as a group. Then some of their artist songs came on. I remember it vividly. Black Rob's song came on, Whoa. And I was so livid because this song, I didn't understand why I hated the song for so many years. It was because it was indelibly marked and associated with me getting pow pow. And years later, I had to come to terms with it when he got sick, and I had to lay it down and give it to God and say, Father God, I don't hate this man. I just associate the song with my injury. And that's how powerful sound is. So as they made their way, they got up to a certain point in the bar, and with all of them pushing and shoving, somebody shoved a guy named Scar that made his drink splash in his face. Now, Scar's back was to the crowd, so he didn't even know who shoved him. He just elbowed back, and when he elbowed back, they pushed him. And so when he turned around and they realized who he was, he realized who they were, pushing and shoving started, like, get out my face, don't tell me. Now, I knew Scar personally. His mother lived across the street from one of my beauty salons. And that's another thing that's missed out in this. A lot of people think I was just some like club hopping floozy. I was a business owner in my 20s. Something very rare in New York City. I had 2 beauty salons in New York City at the time. And a woman in my 20s. So
amazing.
He lived his mother lived across the street from one of my beauty salons. So I knew him. I knew this guy. I mean, he was, let's say, what people would say, one of those dudes in the street that you didn't play. And everybody knew him. But he was a nice guy also. He would come to my shop and we would have very, very thought-provoking conversations. But in all things, there's duality. So they pushed him, he pushed back. A guy that was with him, a lot of people mistell the story and say he did it. He did not do it. A guy that was with him had a wad of money in his hand and slapped Puffy in the face with the money, and it just flew up to the sky. And it went all over the place, and everybody was scurrying, trying to grab money. And I said to my friend, this is not going to end well. But I figured a fight. I didn't figure anybody would pull out guns and shoot.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm thinking there's going to be a fight. It's a lot of machismo, it's words going back and forth. And next thing you know, I see Puff and Shine extracting themselves from the group by reaching to the side in their hip and backing back towards the front door. Ooh. And when I saw that, I told my friend, oh my God, watch out. And as soon as I turned my head to tell her, watch out, as I was turning my face back and I looked directly at them, God said, calm down, you're about to be hit. And so I freaked out, no. And as soon as I said no, pow, pow, the muzzle flash came off like this, pow, pow. One of them was a little higher, one was a little lower. Puffy's hand was a little lower, Shine's was higher. Shine was closer to the bar, Puffy was closer to me, straight line ahead of me. I watched them both fire their guns. I keep telling people, I didn't get shot in the side, not the back, not, caddy corner. I got shot directly in my face, here. And so, instantly, I had just gotten saved, and one of the lessons we were taught was, whatever happens to you, you speak life or speak death with your mouth. And so I chose to speak life. I screamed out, Father God, don't take me. I'm not finished raising my kids. Please, God, I have work to do. That's what I screamed out.
Wow.
And when I screamed that out, I instantly could feel myself fall backwards because all these people started running. And I got trampled. My leg was trampled. So eventually some people, blood was spewing all over these young ladies. And I was tapping my friends, calling their names. I couldn't see them, but I'm tapping them like, are you guys okay? Are you guys okay? And they were tapping like, yeah, we're okay. And I could feel her hand. And I said, I'm not okay. And she said, yeah, you okay? I said, I'm not okay. I got shot. And that's when she started pushing the girl off of me. And when she pushed the young lady off of me, the young lady was grabbing her hair and looking back, and it was covered in my blood. It was just caked in blood. And just by the amount of blood in her hair, I'm like, oh my God, how am I losing this much blood? How am I going to survive? So they got me up, and people, you know, there was a lot of ruckus still going on, and people started literally like dissipating. And as I stood up, I could feel the air from the front door rush towards me and rush into. So before I felt the air. Have you ever seen Star Trek where they say, beam me up, Scotty, and they start to, you know, dissipate and turn like almost like
disintegrate.
They start to disintegrate. That is how my body felt. I no longer felt like one solid piece of flesh. My body disintegrated. And as that front door opened and the cold air rushed in and everybody rushed out, the air came to me and passed straight through me and came out the back of me like a loosely knit sweater. And I was just like, whoa, I'm dying. Because I had never felt this feeling before. I had no frame of reference to even connect this feeling of not feeling like flesh anymore.
It sounds like your soul left your body for a second.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm dying. And when I looked over, there was a guy laying on the floor. He was the other guy who was shot. And he was motionless. So I thought he had already died. And even in the midst of what I was going through, I stopped and I prayed for him. You know how it is when you first get saved? You become a holy roller. You're like touching everybody. Oh, girl, praise the Lord for you. And so that's where I was. Eventually, after what I went through and in my spiritual growth, the pendulum swung somewhere in the middle and settled where I am now. But at that time, my first thought was, man, I don't know who this guy is, but we share the same experience. I don't want him to meet God without having repented for himself. And I thought I could somehow stand in the gap and repent for him. So I said, Father God, I repent for his sins. Let him go to heaven. You know, take him up into heaven, Lord God, and protect his family. Because I thought I was going to die too. And I figured I'm going to see him in a little while anyway. I literally did not think I would survive. And so, because I didn't feel like I was surviving. You understand what I'm saying? I felt like I was leaving. And these two young ladies that I had known for years, they used to come to my shop. We knew them from Brooklyn. One's name was Red and one's name was Keisha. They were sisters, or at least they called each other sisters. I believe they were blood sisters, but I don't know for a fact. I knew them. They used to come to my salon. They were both female security guards. One was Foxy Brown's security and one was Little Kim's security. They ran to me, but neither one of them grabbed me. They were so insightful. They said, everybody called me Ebony. Ebony, come to me. Come to me. You okay? And they didn't want to grab me because they probably figured if they grabbed me, I'd go into shock. I don't know if this was their training from being security guard, you know, personal security. I don't know where they got this knowledge, but they stood in the gap when everybody fled from me. They were the only ones that stayed with me. And one of them dove over the bar and got a bunch of paper towels. And the other one said, come to me, Eb, come. And I walked towards her. I was limping. I walked towards her and she took my hand and she said, we okay? You okay, girl? I got you. And we saw 2 or 3 people scurry into a door off to the side where I had been standing all night. I didn't even realize the door was there because that part was so dark. They opened the door and beyond the door, there was bright light. That was the kitchen that was connected to the hotel above the club. And so these people ran in and I saw a guy with long dreadlocks run in the door and she said, hold the door. But I can only imagine he was terrified. He slammed the door shut. And one of them ran over to the door and was banging and kicking the door. Open this effing door. Open this door. And somebody opened the door. We stepped into the light of the kitchen, and all I could see was that black and white checkerboard tile with 9 million bloody footprints in every direction in my blood.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I'm definitely out of here. Like, I know I'm leaving. How could I survive with all this blood out of my body? Like, I'm not going to be here. And I just kept praying and talking like, God, I love my children. Tell my children I love them. And there were all these Mexican men, I'm assuming Mexican men, Latino men standing there with aprons on. I knew they were the chefs. And there was 5 boxes of carrots stacked. It was stacked 5 high. And they literally looked like Bugs Bunny's carrots with the green stem hanging off of them, poking out of the boxes. And that looked like the most stable thing. People were running back and forth. So I went holding my tissues, and I just held onto the box of carrots, and I stood there. The carrots felt safe to me. And the irony of it all, let me tell you how God is in these moments we don't even think of. I just came from the supermarket, and for the first time, I saw carrots with a stem like that, and I just bought them. And here I am telling you guys about that. Like, and I don't even eat carrots, but something told me buy the carrots. So they reminded me of what I'd gone through, and I bought those carrots. And so I was in the club, and everybody was running a whole lot of different directions. And I literally stood by those carrots, and then people were saying, come through this doorway, come. There was a doorway kind of diagonally, and a whole bunch of people ran through the doorway. And so as I approached the doorway, figuring I would get outside to help, when I got to the doorway, God said, touch the floor. Now, some people are always awestruck when I say this, but God said to me, touch the floor. I just got shot in my face. I had no reason to doubt God. I was still walking around, still alive. I didn't know for how long, but at that time I was alive. And he said, touch the floor. I touched the floor. Now, mind you, I just saw almost 100 people run through this doorway. However, God told me touch the floor. I touched the floor. I felt something metal. At the time, I didn't know what I had no clue what it was, but I felt it. And God just said, stick it in your bag. I stuck it in my bag. My bag was around the loop of my wrist. And I kept going through the doorway. It led us to a dark, very dark corridor. While I was in that corridor, a man with an accent came and tapped me on my back and said, come with me. And so when I turned to see who is this person who's tapping me on my back, it was one of the guys who, the club owners, they have this look. He had a bunch of brothers, cousins, whatever, but they all looked alike. He was one of those guys. And I thought to myself, how did he know who I was in this dark with all these people? How did he know? Well, given time being, retrospect being 2020, I said he had to know because he saw me on a video camera. But that tape has been missing. It might be in those tapes that were subpoenaed by the feds. Because I promise you, he tapped me on my shoulder and knew who I was in the dark. He wasn't in my face. He was behind me. And he tapped me on my shoulder, and I started to follow him. And it led me through this very flowy curtain area, and it looked like a little side VIP area. And then we heard a loud boom, boom, boom. And he took off and left me. But when I looked at the wall, there was a mirror on the wall. And by that time, everybody who had looked at me was going and backing away. So being in the beauty industry, I mean, I felt like I was dying, but, we still have vanity. And I said, I wonder what I look like. And started walking to the mirror, and God kept saying, don't look in that mirror. And I kept in these like light limp steps towards the mirror. God said, don't look in that mirror. Started yelling at me, but I just had to see my face because it felt like all the flesh rushed to this part of my face and was just tight. And I was like, let me see what I look like. And I started to tiptoe up to look in the mirror. And this man pops out of nowhere and says, there you go. We've been looking for you. And when I turned around, it was an EMT. He literally got to me right before I looked in the mirror. And God probably didn't want me to look because he didn't want me to go into shock. When the EMT said, we've been looking for you, where everybody is looking for you. And I was like, oh, and I just followed him. When we got back through the corridor in the kitchen, it led to another part of the hotel where you can go out of the hotel door. And there were people on the staircase stacked. It was like these old New York City marble staircases. And there were people deep, like 5 deep on this side and 5 deep on this side, but all the way down the staircase out the door. Everybody wanted to see who it was that got shot. Now, I had beauty salons. I was popular. I used to throw events. Everybody knew who I was. As soon as I got to the step, I started hearing people say, Ebony, oh my God. And so many people called my name. Every time somebody called my name, I felt my flesh coming back together. I don't know if that makes sense. Every time somebody called my name, I felt like I was fading before, but each time I heard my name, it brought me closer back to life.
It makes absolute sense.
For them calling my name. And it was so ironic that I ended up going to the hospital in one of the ambulances, and the other guy who got shot went to the hospital in the other ambulance. He did survive. And his name is Julius Jones. I want to call his name. That's my brother. And not enough people acknowledge his pain, acknowledge him. He also went through something. It's just that I was the one who God told me I don't have to be afraid. And I was never afraid. And I screamed as loud as I could to the mountaintops to everybody. Puffy shot me. Puffy.
Wow.
Lots of people knew. That club was full of people. I know how far his reach is, and I totally understand why the feds will not release that witness list to them, because they have harassed me for 25 years. Somebody stole my license plate a couple of weeks ago. For what? For what? Someone stole my license plate off of my car. They harassed me. They've busted out my tires. I had a BMW with run flats. Anybody that knows run flats, you can drive. They're called run flats. You can have a flat and drive probably 150 miles. I was having blowouts. Those tires don't typically blow out. The same tire on my BMW. I would go back to the tire people and they're like, you got a crazy baby father or something? Like, who's out for you? Somebody's after you. And he was like, let me hurry up and change your tire and get you out of here, because I don't want no problems in here. That's how bad it was. Wow. This morning, I was sitting in my bed waiting for my daughter to get ready so I could take her to school. I'm watching YouTube, and a story comes on about a little young rapper whose brother was killed. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. And a gentleman came up and was speaking, and he said he mentored this kid, and he was from a group called like Our Fathers. And I'm like, wait a minute. I know that group. That guy used to try to, email me and get me to be involved with his group. So I look in my email instantly because I'm like, I know this guy. I'm searching in my email. He doesn't come up, but guess what comes up? A report I had to file to the cops back in 2013. Good and Lord. I noticed the dates. The first thing I wrote was January 13th, 2013. I was all the way down to a stream of emails in November 2013. They were harassing me like crazy. When I read the email, it was cops that had harassed me, tried to kick in my door, asking me, what am I doing in my house? All types of stuff. Like it was my house, but they insisted, where'd you get this house? How'd you get this house? It was harassment nonstop. I had forgotten about this stuff. And I was just like, when I tell you the harassment was incessant, and I believe to my core, I know why. First of all, he's a harasser. I'm just going to put that out there. And his money is long, and he got goons, and there are people with no integrity that will do anything for $1. As long as we have a world.
Natania.
Sure.
I just want to press you on something here, right? Your story is, everyone in the side chat has been praising the fact that your story's never changed, right? Never. People that have heard it before, they're saying, this has never changed. First of all, you look amazing for somebody who got shot in the face. I just want to point that out right now, right? Like, I'm just saying, like, it's incredible. First of all, the fascinating things that you just said about someone saying your name and you feeling like you were coming back together is something that is what I've never heard anyone who's been close to death say this. And what I really want to ask you is, as a regular person who got dragged into the Diddy-sphere, through a horrific crime that's affected your life, tell the viewers who maybe are on the fence about this individual's dark tactics when it comes to the harassment, when it comes to the silencing, to the discrediting, right? And just explain as how out of sorts as a regular human being it was to receive this level of harassment. And if you don't mind going into that. Also, before we start, ladies and gentlemen, can we get some likes and subscribes? Can we get some hearts for Natania in the side chat, please? Can you make sure the mods, when they post Natania's YouTube channel, we all go over there and we make sure.
I already subscribed.
Thank you.
I already
Awesome.
Thank you
subscribed.
so much, guys.
I want
I will subscribe.
to extend thanks for making yourself known in the side chat and coming on. And your story is unbelievable. And again, if we can go into the side of the harassment, because you're one of the few people not from the Hollywood sphere that has had, I would imagine, the same level of horrors as a lot of the other people. I mean, taking a bullet to the face and then having to go through decades of harassment. And what I imagine, right, is at some point they've tried to discredit you somewhere, I would imagine, because that's what they do. You know, it's what they do. Can you take us through that if you're comfortable doing that? Take us through.
Ron, I just want to ask, because for some people who are here, can you please, Natania, just for the audience, so there's no misunderstandings or anything. Puff Daddy or Diddy or Brother Love, as he calls himself, he's the one who shot you.
Without a doubt, 100%. No, without any equivocation, he shot me. I watched him.
And I just want to ask you something. Were you fighting with him, or he just turned and shot you?
No, they were fighting with the guys. But here's the thing: being a thug in your mind and thinking that your ego and your machismo is so big doesn't make you a good shot. I'm an innocent bystander, but he absolutely unequivocally shot me. I have audio recording on my page. So let me just back up a little. Shine, when they were shopping Shine for his record deal, I used to work at a guy named Manny Haley's beauty salon. He had a beauty salon barbershop. When I used to work there, I left and went and opened my own barbershop and beauty salon up Bedford Avenue in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. Famously across from the Bedford bowling alley. Lots of people knew me. Right next door to Uncle Ralph's Urban Gear. Uncle Ralph, who had the video music TV show, Video Music Box, the vanguard of all urban and hip hop and everything music back in the days when MTV wouldn't play black videos. My beauty salon was right next door to him. So I literally, Manny called me one day. I'm a vocalist. I'm a singer. I was in the industry in the early days. I've done work. I had a song out with a rapper back in 90 something. It's on my YouTube page. So I was trying to do my own album and shopping for a deal. I was doing my demo to shop myself for a deal. I've gone into lots of labels. There was a time where they were trying to give me a deal from MBK Records. That's the same record label that signed Alicia Keys. They were in Burt Padell's office. I was in there. So when I was at the studio one day, Manny called me and said, "Hey, what you up to?" And I said, "I'm in the studio." And he was like, "Oh, word? Good. Let me bring through that young guy, the rapper. I got this rapper. Let me bring him through. You know the young guy?" And I'm like, "Who?" He's like, "The guy used to be in front of the shop." I was like, "Oh, the one that sounded like Biggie?" He said, "Yeah." So I said, "Okay, bring him through." He brings him through to my session. He comes in and he jumps on the beat and starts rapping. He's rapping about cohibas. I didn't even know what cohibas were. I learned eventually they were Cuban cigars.
Oh, Natania, I think you've just dropped for a second there. I imagine you'll come. I imagine your phone's rang, is what I imagine has happened there. But what an incredible story so far. And oh no, they've come for her. They've got her.
I love how she's so bloody brave, you know. And I know,
there she is.
I know a lot of people discount
so
God.
He comes in, he raps, he does his thing. They take the audio from that and they use it while they're shopping him to all the labels that are trying to sign him. There was times where he came to the studio, didn't have money. All the guys that he was walking and running with, they were loaded. They all had money. I could tell because I'm an empath. He had no money. I didn't want to strip him of his dignity. So he's like, "Oh, y'all."
Oh, there we go. It's all right. Listen, I imagine it's an iPhone. No one's perfect, everybody. We all know Android users don't have these problems. Okay. There we go. She's back. Welcome back.
Sorry.
And Natania, I was just saying to people, I imagine you're getting phone calls. Yeah, I was going to say you're getting phone calls, right?
Please want to subscribe to her channel, guys. Can you post her link on the screen, please?
Yeah, I posted the link. Natania is actually less than 300 subs or less than 100 subs away from 2K. So I think we, as a community, we can get her at least past 2. There you go, past 2K already. Brilliant. There we are.
Sure.
Hey, Ron.
Well done, guys.
Miss
Shane,
Natania,
yes.
Miss Natania, before you speak, I am Shane. You and I spoke the other night, dear.
Yes, Shane. How are you?
Good. I want to tell everybody real quick that the 10-minute conversation that Miss Natania and I had, she really touched me. She really did, with some amazing things about God. So listen to this lady. She is tough, and she is one very valued woman. And just listen to anything she's got to say, and please go subscribe to her channel. Bless you, Miss Natania.
Yeah, 100%. And anyone who wants to
I
argue,
have
anyone
I
who wants
have a
to,
question
okay.
for Miss Natania. What happened to your two salon?
What happened to
your two hair salon?
I ended up having to close them. It wasn't functional. So one, I kept open for a while, even after the district attorney relocated me to Atlanta. However, it became like all of my staff members that were there, some of them were like single moms that maybe they were on public assistance, but they also did hair. And they were like, I can't stand in the shop. The news cameras are here every day. My caseworker is going to see me on TV. I got to get out of here. Like they literally, I had one hair braider left that stayed in one of the shops. When I tell you, her name is Marie. When she came to me, she couldn't speak English. Everybody was like, what you going to bring her in here for? She can't speak English. And I'm like, listen, everybody deserves a chance. Thank God for Marie. When I was infirmed and laid up and could not do anything for myself, Marie kept that shop going. Just braiding hair, putting the money down, never cheated me out of $1. And I give thanks for her. I wish I knew where she was. I have no idea where she is. And my other salon, a few barbers had stayed, but it was just too much pressure for people. Like at that time, Puffy was what Beyonce is today. That's what he was in 99. Yeah. And so he was the industry. He was, he was everything to people that follow that culture. A crazy story that happened to me was when I finally got out of the hospital, I became a recluse. It was I was suffering from severe depression. And because I could not believe how the tide had turned and how people were just like acting like he was this innocent thing, I was astounded. And so my mother asked me, come on with me. She was going to take care of some things. And she said, just come out with me, get a little breeze. You can't stay in the house forever. So help me God, my face was still bandaged. Everybody knew who I was because, there was a daily news front page article and all this stuff. And there were a group of people, about 7 of them, ranging, I would say, from maybe 17 to 20 something. These people saw me across the street, recognized me, and cursed me out and called me everything but a child of God. You stupid, you a hater, you trying to take down a good black man, you trying to take down the culture, you evil, I hope you unalive. I mean, I stood there in shock, like, oh my God, all I did was become an innocent victim. What are they doing? I couldn't walk. I watched my mother, who is a mild-mannered businesswoman, flare up like a giant on them. Like, you better get out of here. And she went berserk. I could not even take a step. She had to stand there with me for a while until I was able to move. This is how evil people are because of idol worship, because of celebrity worship. When things are tough and you can't feed your family, I guarantee you the celebrity will not be at your door to help you. Absolutely. Have compassion for your fellow man and stop worshiping people that you think are of a higher echelon than you. There is nothing redemptive.
It's interesting that you use the word worship, right? I am very much the host of this channel who believes in the ritualistic side of all of this, the horrible things that go on, the harnessing of energy. And when we use idols, right, when we refer into these celebrities, if you imagine yourself in a traditional worshiping setting, you go into a church, sometimes you kneel down in front of an altar, maybe you light a candle, sometimes you hold something in your hands, right? What is the difference between sitting in front of an altar and sitting in front of a computer, holding a Bible, holding a phone or a tablet, and projecting this worship towards these idolistic individuals? I believe that is what we're witnessing here. And it's interesting, when you said your name being said, right? We've all heard in movies, say my name, all of this stuff. When we're referring to demonic entities, you have to refer to them by name. And it's interesting, the fact that people were chanting or projecting your name made you feel like you were being brought back to life. Like, if that isn't If that
There
isn't
was some
test,
type of collective force, definitely
yeah,
bringing me to the world.
And I want to thank you for your strength, because a lot of people after that situation, to keep their business, they would have just stay silent.
yeah. I need
But
to
no, no.
quickly
you
nip away.
are someone that is
Can I
incredible to see.
What? 1 second, Paula. I need to nip away for 60 seconds. I'm going to leave Paula in the driving seat. I'll leave everything set up like this, and
Okay.
I will go. Can we all get some, like, listen, I know you're hearing me say, can you share this? And you're all going, yeah, we'll share. Can you just take a minute, right? Natania's not going to say another word. I'm going to get her to read from the dictionary until everyone tells us that you've shared the stream. Okay, Natania, don't take any of their nonsense. Okay, no nonsense. No, but
Okay.
tell us. Paula's going to steer the ship. I'll be back in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
Natania, I also wanted
Paula,
to ask
before
you,
you
where
before
was
you
J-Lo
start,
in all of
hang on a
this?
second, Paula. I got to get ready and go, so I just wanted to tell Miss Natania and everybody bye. But again,
Bye,
lady,
Shay.
thank you very, very much. And
Thank you.
again, I'm not a big religious person, but you kind of brought me back around and you re-steered my ship. So I just want to say thank
Yeah.
you. And
Absolutely.
you got
Remember what I
good.
told
I do.
Remember what I
I
told you?
told my mom too. And
Spirituality.
yes. And
Spirituality
again, you
is
got
a
good
personal
people here
relationship with
with
God. Religion
yeah.
is
You're
the collective control mechanism. Be spiritual.
well. See, now
Yeah.
you've left me with your phone number, so sometimes when I get down and out, I may call you.
Absolutely. You're welcome
And
to. Absolutely.
and last thing, Miss Jaguar Wright told me, she said, you better tell that lady that she is strong, she is powerful, and she's got your back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love Jaguar.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
she's awesome. Well, I'm gonna give this back to Miss Paula because she's probably beat me up now. So you all enjoy, and we love you very much, and are here for you always.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, enjoy.
Natania,
Take
I
care.
am blown away. I am blown away by, I think we all are, with your story. It's incredible that you were vilified rather than believed. And I wanted to ask you, where was J-Lo in all of this?
She was a part of it. So J-Lo, according to Little Rod, this is how I came back into the internet sphere of this case earlier this year. J-Lo walked into the club with the gun in her bag. She brought that gun in. She brought the gun in and passed it to him. And when she passed it to him and he got into the melee, he fired that shot and shot me. So she's no innocent. She knew it all along. And if you are to believe Kim Porter's book, there is a chapter in there where it says she came to the door. Kim Porter and Puffy were in the house. J-Lo was banging on the door. They opened the door. She busted in and she said, "Why the F did you shoot that lady in the face? Why did you do that? We have bodyguards to do stuff like that. What did you do it for? What are you doing? Are you crazy?" And he was like, "Don't worry about a thing. We got this. You don't have to worry. You won't see a day of jail." And 25 years later, he was not lying about that part. And that's why I know that part of the book is real. And I believe the book is real. I know that it was the first-hand account of Kim witnessing the two people who are involved in it. She's no innocent. Not the least of which is during the chase, they were running from the police. They ran like 30 blocks, but like 12 red lights or 22 red lights or something to that effect. And so help me God, the cop, and his interview is out there. He said he watched one of the guns being thrown from the victim and he knows it was a lady's hand. It was a white hand. The other three people in the car were Wardell Fenderson, the innocent driver, Puffy, and Wolf, his bodyguard, and J-Lo. She threw one of the guns out of the window. They stopped the car. Eventually, the other gun was in the car. He tried to get his driver to take the gun. He tried to bribe him with, they said, a $50,000 ring that J-Lo gave him. And the guy was like, "No, I'm a driver. I'm not doing that. I got a family." And he refused to take responsibility for it. Like we're playing with dirty people here who will stop at nothing. And it is my sincere belief wholeheartedly that because of all the people who have had issues with him, whenever there's something, his insurance company pays people off. Well, he tried to drag out my case for so long, like he did with the City College people. Incidentally, the City College people happened on December 28th, and mine was December 27th. So there is ritualistic stuff going on here. There is sacrificial stuff going on here. I don't doubt it for 1 second. But of all the people, I am the third highest ranked case in hip hop. The first two being the death of Tupac, the death of Biggie, and then me getting shot. And I'm telling you, I'm the only person survived. And for the better part of 24 years, until Cassie came out, I'm the only person that stood up and faced him and made him accountable. He had to pay me in a civil suit. He was livid because the insurance company would not pay him, not pay anymore, and he had to pay me out of his pocket. I tell you, anybody that knows him, if you see footage, he's always like, I don't pay for nothing. I don't pay for nothing. He was livid. Do you understand me? Livid. Why would you pay me in a civil suit if you didn't do anything? Why?
And I gotta ask you, the police why didn't they believe you? Like, did they choose not to believe you? What was it? Because they must have interviewed you.
So many people say that. The police, the district attorney, all of them believe me. Here's what it is. Imagine what a nightclub is. Have you ever been to a nightclub?
Yeah.
You know, a nightclub has on average between, let's say, 300 to 1,000 people in it, especially this type of big New York City nightclub. If I've been talking for 25 years, where's the other 999 people that was in the club? Ask yourself that.
I'm pretty sure we're still waiting. I'm pretty sure we're still waiting on the witness testimonies from all the witnesses of the Tupac shooting, let alone.
There were people testified. What the cops did was, and there's a cop who you'll hear his recording on the internet. This is a recent recording. He did an interview. He said, usually if there's a shooting at a nightclub, the first people out of the door are women. Google it and you'll hear the cop say it. He said, for the first time ever, the first person out of the club was Shine. You know why? Because like I said, they backed back to the front door to get out when they pulled their guns. So that's why he was so close to the door to be the first person out. He ran right into the cop. There was a police squad formed in the 90s called the Hip Hop Cops. They took everybody's name and information as they trickled out of the club so that the district attorney could interview them. Where, oh, where are the names and the faces? Oh, where could they be? Where they at? That's why the feds won't give them the list. If they have a list of witnesses, those witnesses will disappear or all of a sudden get amnesia. One of my quote-unquote friends that I never even saw, somebody said to me when I did an interview a couple of months ago, what happened to your friends? I don't know.
Oh my God, I've been where you are.
They all disappeared. And somebody even said to me, what about your friend that testified? And somehow I didn't even know or remember, or I didn't have a recollection of that. One of my friends went to court and testified. She didn't see anything. She was tying her shoe. Do you know a grown Black woman that wears a shoe with a shoelace to a nightclub?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Laces to a nightclub. Nobody.
Also, that's stupid because of the wound. It would have been the wound also. If you're with your head down, the wound would have been in a different position.
Listen,
people are gonna walk on the thing.
I got shot with a 9mm hollow point bullet that in the street it's called a cop killer. Yeah. Because once it hits your bone, it shatters. All of the bullets were full. All of them were identically filled with cop killer bullets. The cop, the gun.
That's probably what saved your life. That's probably what saved your life. If that 9mm had went in and started bouncing around, do you know what I'm saying? Of course.
I'm gonna tell you the irony. So the bullet, when it hit my nose bone, it fractured my nose, my cheekbone, it shattered in my face. I still have 9 bullet fragments in my face and head. I have a traumatic brain injury. I have a seizure disorder. I have all types of medical problems. I have a major chunk right here in my optic nerve. Now my vision is going. Yeah. I have to wear my readers. And not just like regular. I'm talking, it's blurring out. They didn't want to, they couldn't remove this because they said it's too close to my optic nerve and I could be blind. Yeah, I'm with you. There's a bunch right here. A few years ago, I ended up having this massive headache and my head was swelling like crazy. And I was like, what is this pain? I'm bawling and crying. I had a towel over my head. The light was making me crazy. I was in so much pain. My son said, something is wrong, mommy. We got to take you to the hospital. They ended up taking me to the hospital. A bullet fragment that's right here shifted and ended up on the nerves in my tooth. They had to go in and do something called a pulpectomy to take every nerve out of this tooth. Look at I lost the tooth. So this is just a few years ago. I got shot December 27th makes 25 years. This doesn't, not the least of which is what I'm going through is I had a whole lot of survivor's guilt in the beginning. But what I'm having now is I am burdened, and I have been for the last 24 years. Had these people listened to me and had more integrity than a dollar bill, to take a dollar bill to be silent, this would have been solved. He would have been found guilty, and 24 years worth of people would not have had to suffer and had to be in this case now.
Wow.
Amen. Oh my God.
Listen to me. So tell me what you think that does to my psyche and my heart and my pain. What do you think that does to a person? You know, for 20, almost 20 years, I couldn't sleep at night. I could not sleep.
So
I would get up,
sorry.
walk my house, check all the doors, check the locks. It was sad. My family was so sad. Like, gosh, this is.
Yeah, that's horrible.
One of my girlfriends brought me some crystals, and she put them in the sun and charged them. And she said, put them under your pillow. I want you to sleep. You're going to kill yourself if you don't sleep. That is how I started getting sleep again. Because when I tell people, I have been shot over 5 million times. There was a time where I would close my head and bow. Every time I close my eyes, bam, again. So I had to stay awake because that was the only thing that saved me from it. I had to go through soul searching deep. I went to theology school to answer the questions of how was it that I survived when other people go through less and don't? And where do I get the strength from to keep fighting? I went to theology school to understand what God's role in this is. And I have to say, to God be the glory. God is using me to show people he is abundantly able to do all things.
Absolutely.
He is using me to show people that he is the Alpha and the Omega, and nothing starts or ends unless he says so. He is using people to show me, if you stay the course, if you stay on faith, I will take you through anything.
Yeah.
He said,
that's what it showed with you.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. So whosoever shall believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. In this journey, my spiritual walk has gotten so strong. One day, the Holy Spirit said to me, look up every scripture that corresponds with your birthday. You all should do it. There's a message in there for you. You know what I found? Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities of the darkness of this world and rulers of iniquity in the high places. Look up your birthday in scriptures. I promise you, he got a message in there for me. It saved me because I knew that I wasn't just fighting mortal men. I was fighting spirits, evil spirits. And trust me, when I had family members, my own mother, everybody was like, stop it, be quiet, just go on with your life. I cannot. The person that God made me, I cannot. The Bible says, cry aloud and spare not. The Bible says anger, but do not sin. That is what I have done all these years. I am fighting the good fight. He called me to this walk, and I'm going to walk it out.
Yeah.
Where do you find the strength? Where do you find the strength?
From God and my children. God gave me my children. There were plenty of times where I was so overwhelmed that I felt like I didn't have another breath in me. And then one of my kids walked in my room, and I knew there was no way I could quit. I couldn't abandon them. I could not leave them. My husband passed away, God rest his soul, suffered from kidney disease and was disabled. I was all they had to take care of them, to go through I couldn't quit on them. My husband has passed on now. I am what they got. I can't leave. I can't teach my kids a lesson of selling out, quitting, being a punk, being scared. Fear doesn't live in me. It never did, even when I was a child. Fear never lived in me. I'm not afraid of anybody. You know who I'm afraid of? God. I'm too afraid to not do what God has asked me to do. That's why I wrote a docuseries called SHOT. The acronym is SHOT, Survivors Helping Others Through. That's why I wrote the docuseries. And every producer that I met that said, oh, I want to help you with your thing. As soon as they found out Puffy was to do with it, when I tell you they disappeared, one of them was like, don't ever mention my name with this. I can't help you. You need to leave it alone. I was like, I'm going to drag every one of y'all name through the mud when I finally get this docuseries out.
Yeah.
How did you feel each time? How did you feel when they were saying things like that? When you saw how much coward the world was, how did you feel?
I was upset. I'll be honest. And here's the thing. I understand that we are not a monolith in this world. Everyone is not the same. We all have different degrees of dealing with how we deal with issues, how we deal with trauma, how we confront things in our lives. Everybody has their own degree of how they handle that. And I won't dare, it looks like my phone is not really charging. I don't know why. I won't dare even criticize with that. But what I'm saying is people who are not necessarily victims, but have information. Now that is where I draw the line. You just straight up choosing money. You are straight up choosing money. I have my own sentiments and beliefs as it pertains to the book. I have my reasoning, and I did a show the other day on my channel called What About the Victims? Because everybody's jumping into the sphere of this case and making it a 3-ring circus. They have to stop. They have to stop and take a moment and consider with all of this. This one says this, then the next one says that, then this one says this, then the next one says. You are creating reasonable doubt. You are making a platform by which his attorneys will take all this stuff and try to create reasonable doubt. And guess who's left in the lurch? The victims. Who's thinking about us? Who is thinking about us? I need people to act and comport themselves with the level of decency they would give if it was their mother who was victimized. This has turned into a 3-ring circus. And it bothers me because when I hear all these people telling their story, I don't hear them talking about the victims. You know how I came to have a relationship with Jaguar? Because so many people kept sending me video footage of Jaguar saying, what about Natania Rubin? How come nobody gave her the justice she deserves? What about, and I was just like, wow, I'm talking for every one of my people that sent me the video. I received each video where she spoke my name from about 12 different people, each one.
Yeah. How did that?
I think our son's maybe phoning again. Just while Natania is dealing with her connection,
people keep trying to.
Can we get one more? Can we get one more like and share it, everybody? I just want to say once again to Natania, thank you for being here. We'll continue on with this impromptu interview. And again, thank you for being here, Natania. Make sure everyone's subscribing. We're not going anywhere yet. Trust me. I just wanted to filibust the moments where Natania was getting phone calls. So.
And Natania, I just want to say, I hope you can come to my channel because I'd love to have your story in my channel. And the more people hear it, the better. I understand exactly where you're coming from because I went through, I was talking earlier, 3 murder attempts by my ex-husband. Yeah, and I'm still standing. And you know what? The only thing that got me through was my son. I would come home and I remember the last time when I had like 14 stitches and my broken bones. And I was crying. I remember I fell to the floor and I was crying because I thought, okay, after 9 years, I'm done. I'm much older. My bones don't heal faster. And and my son came in and he said, Mom, he gave me a hug and he apologized because he felt responsible that I was going through all of that because of him. And it's like, I'm like, I have to make this work because my son cannot grow up thinking that this is okay.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I agree with you.
God be the
Natania. Sorry. Natania.
And I believe in God. I am absolutely a God-fearing person. I absolutely love God. My son and God got me through everything. I could literally, find myself in a church alone. I don't go on Sundays. I go when there's nobody, but I would go there and I talk to God and I please just let me get through this day. It is kind of hard.
What are the things that the YouTuber are saying that annoys you the most, that come and gets you the most?
Well, there's a lot of Gen Z and Gen Alphas in the comments now, and people that were not alive when I got shot, and they were like, oh, she's lying, there's no way you got shot with a 9mm and you still have a face, you shouldn't have no face, you should be dead, or she's lying, that drives me insane. But the number one question that I've gotten over the last 25 years is, did they apologize? I was just like, what? Like, people only apologize when they show contrition. And here's the thing. The one person who gave a semblance of an apology was Shine. Years later, he was on the Combat Jack podcast. Rest in peace to Combat Jack. He was one of the early preeminent podcasters. He was an attorney and he did hip hop and, the culture podcast. Sure. He had Shine on. This was when Shine was in jail. I think this may have been before the trial, between the shooting and before the trial. And one of the people on the show tried to play like rapid gunfire in the back. And he said, no, don't do that, because Natania Rubin is my friend. I will post, I have it on my channel. You'll see the video. He said, Natania Rubin is my friend. We used to go to the studio with Natania and everything was everything. So I'm sorry that happened to her, because like I said, she was my friend. We don't know if it was her. We don't know if she got shot with my gun or what other gun or ricochet, because there was 4 guns in the club. But like I said, she's my friend and I'm sorry that happened to her. That's the closest he ever came to an apology. When now he's on honorable, I didn't do anything, I'm the fall guy. Yes, you did. You admitted. He starts out the audio saying, when I seen that kid reach in his waist, I pulled my gun and shot him in the shoulder. Out of his own mouth. But his amnesia and his cunning and his, manipulation makes him come forth. Oh, now I'm a respectable politician and I'm the fall guy. No, you're not. No, you're not. You weren't a fall guy. You went to jail for what you did. For my brother, Julius Jones, he's my brother in this world now because we share the same incident. You went to jail for shooting Julius Jones in the shoulder. Puffy needs to go to jail for what he did to me. J-Lo needs to go to jail for what she did. Because if you go to any inner city jail all over the world, all over the country, there's little Black and Latino boys named Raul, Paco, Raekwon, Pookie, and Man that simply took a ride in a car with some friends and there was a gun in there and they gave up their life. They are sitting in jail because they were in a car with a gun. So why does J-Lo get to walk away? That's a whole nother discussion that I'm willing to have. But I'm dragging her for filth. Miss J-Lo, come to the front of the room, boo. You got to make recompense to me. You gonna pay for what you did to me.
Natania,
I get that you guys have a protection for your show, but I'm telling you this is fact. She testified in the grand jury and lied. It is a crime to lie to the federal grand jury. She knows what she saw. The book proves it. She busted in and said, why did you fire those shots? We got bodyguards for that. She's guilty of a crime, if nothing else. Bringing the gun into the...
All right, when let's let Natania come back. I've got a couple of questions for her when she does. But listen, I've said it 100,000 times. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Make sure you're sharing. Make sure you go and support the panel members and of course Natania.
Call me again.
No problem. Natania, can I just...
don't get to lie to say. Sure.
Yeah, but listen, no, you're okay. There's what we have to deal with here is there's sometimes a 2 or 3 second delay. So if you feel like I'm interrupting you, I do apologize. On my end, it looks like you paused. So I've got a couple of questions for you. The first one, I don't want you to spend too much time on, but it's more of a me being interested in the spiritual side. At any points have you had any unexplainable dreams throughout this period, right? Whether it's positive dreams or negative dreams, and do any of them repeat and do they stand out? Could you touch on those a little bit if you're comfortable doing so for me?
I would say after this whole thing came back up recently, I started having dreams where he was in my dreams. And I was like, what? Why would I be dreaming about him? I would never. And I kept saying, someone is inserting themselves into my dream. I felt like it was some type of otherworldly quantum jump, astral projectional, I don't know what. But I could not understand why he was in my dream. And I said in my dream, get thee behind me, Satan, and never dreamed of him again. But it was happening over a period of like 2 weeks. He was popping up in my dreams. And then all of a sudden, one of his songs was popping up in my head. Now, anybody that knows me knows. Prior to me getting injured, I was in the club. I was dancing to those songs too. Those was the joint. But afterwards, I couldn't stand to hear his voice. I didn't want to see him. He was on TV, I turned it. If I was in a car, whether my own or somebody else's, and one of those songs came on, I turned it off. Everybody that knows me knows that. I had to get to a point where I just said, God, I cannot make room in my heart and my mind and my body anymore for this anger and this disdain. And so I lay it on the altar and I surrender to you, God. I'm not going to be bothered by the songs. I'm not going to be bothered by his image. I'm not going to be bothered by any of it. I lay it at your hands, God. You said if I walk according to your will in your way, you will redeem me. So I'm laying it at your feet and I'm surrendering. Do what you will. I promise you, 3 years ago, the Holy Spirit came to me and said his whole empire is about to crumble and that he was going to unalive himself. And I started telling my girlfriends, because here's the thing about having a prophetic gift and an empathic gift. If you keep everything God says to you to yourself, then nobody knows. He needs to tell it to you and use you as a vessel so you can tell others. For when it comes to pass, they'll say, oh, wow, you told me that years ago. And so I told people, some people were like, okay. Some people were like, oh, why are you so focused on him? He's not thinking about you. He's doing so good. Leave him alone. I'm like, leave him alone. I was like, God told me not focused on him. And other people were like, oh my God, Eb, really? And they believed me. But I had some people that didn't believe me. The ones I thought believed me, when this case came back, they spun the block like, oh my God, girl, we thought you was crazy back then, but you were right. I cut them off since then. You thought I was
100%.
crazy. Why? Am I not
100%.
a living miracle enough that you would believe what I say? You still doubt in me? This is God saying God is using me to tell people, you still doubt in me? What do I need to do next? Do I need to levitate off the floor and fly for y'all to be like, uh-oh, she's really the real deal? I survived 25 years with 9 bullet fragments in my head. When people unalive because they fell off the edge of the curb and hit their head and they're gone.
Correct.
Yeah. Picture on a shelf. God has kept me here for a time such as this, and I'm going to speak.
Hell yeah. My next question: when you became this voice, right, and people started paying attention online, was there any other victims, survivors, people that surrounded the King of New York, the Diddler? Did any of them reach out to you and
yes,
just wanting to have a connection with someone who publicly shared in any way the destructive force of this man?
People have reached out to me. A few people reached out to me on the site that I can't stand, Instagram. I just cannot stand Instagram. But some people reached out to me on Instagram letting me know that their mother was in the club. I tried to get back in touch with them afterwards, and then I don't know if the mother's like afraid or maybe she took a payment. I don't know. But all of a sudden the connection, but trust me, quite a few people have reached out to me as well. I've had 3 women, 2 in the very beginning when it first came out, and 1 recently, probably about a month and a half ago, that reached out to me and wrote me very long messages telling me how they were going to unalive themselves. And they saw me in a video and was like, oh my God, who is this woman? Why does she have so much strength? And because of my voice, they don't quit. One lady emailed me and said, whenever I'm feeling low, I put on your video again and I listen to your voice. I don't know what this tone is in your voice, but it saves me. 3 people were going to take themselves out of this world. If that is not the glory of God, I don't know what else. And if nothing else, if that is the reason why he saved me, so help me God, I will continue to speak, to be a source for other people. It strengthens me. But yes, people have reached out to me.
What about the other side of the coin, Natania? You've obviously had people reaching out with support. Have you had any threats that you feel have come from within the Diddy camp?
I've been threatened nonstop.
Yeah,
I've had threats on IG that they're gonna get me. Listen. I don't walk to my mailbox without my gun in my hand at all times. I stay strapped. No one's gonna catch me slipping. When I tell you I am not scared, I am not scared. If you think you're taking me, brother, you might be going with me.
Hell yeah! I mean, I really do.
Now, but I will not be caught out there. I don't.
Yeah.
I promise
So, listen.
I don't take a step without my gun.
I need to offer you the platform right now, and just because it's the way YouTube works, I would like you to just tell us a little bit about J-Lo. Right? Obviously, she's a massive key part of this. Now, obviously, we all believe entirely what you are saying, but for legal reasons, right? We just have to throw some allegedly. Just throw in some allegedlys, right? Just gotta throw in some allegedlys. It's how we win. It's how we win, Natania. It's how we survive. So, take us through your allegations against J-Lo, right? And just to be clear, we all stand with you 100%. But sadly, the legal game is the legal game.
Before that, Ron, I just want to ask her something. Do you think that with your testimony, the case could be reopened?
It should be reopened because he was improperly charged. It should be reopened. The legal distinction for it to fall into to not be omitted because of statute of limitations says at the time the case or the truth is discovered at the time the crime is discovered. So for anyone who works within the district attorney's office and they didn't know because they weren't there 25 years ago, you know now. You know now. Open the case. It also doesn't rise to a level of, you know, a lot of people say, oh, he can't be charged again because of, what's the term?
Double jeopardy?
Double jeopardy. First of all, take your, you know, TV Law and Order version of law back to the TV screen. You're wrong. Double jeopardy only applies when you have been charged with a crime. He was never charged with attempted unaliving, which is what he should have been charged with. He was charged with possession of a gun and bribery and assault. He should have been charged with attempted unaliving. So Correct. It doesn't rise to the level of double jeopardy. I'm tired of people online arguing this with me. Also,
no, I agree with you.
Though it was a state case, and this case is being handled by the feds, and it can be entered in by the feds. They can charge him with it, and it falls within the guidelines of the RICO. On News Nation, I sat down, I did an interview, I read out the entire litany of what makes him fall under the threshold of a RICO. This is before he was charged with a RICO. I said it had to, all of the facets that made it possible. So he absolutely can stand trial for this, and he should. Not the least of which is should J-Lo too. Now, let me tell you something that was disgusting, how early I had to deal with celebrity worship. They, instead of taking me, even though I was pow-powed in the face, instead of them taking me to the level 1 trauma center in New York called St. Vincent's Hospital, which was a short ambulance ride from where the nightclub was, they took me to a local neighborhood hospital called St. Clair's. And I could not understand it. Everybody was so la-di-da-di in there. It was like a place where ladies go get their fillers touched up. I was like, these people want me to die? What's going on? I promise you, people in the comments have said they were trying to kill you. You had to be a sacrifice. Why would you take me to a local neighborhood hospital instead of a level 1 trauma center? The guy who was shot in the shoulder, they took him straight to St. Vincent's. Another guy was paid. They took him to St. Vincent's. They took me to St. Clair's. I had to say to a nurse, excuse me, the whole time I didn't cry. I never passed out. The whole time I got shot. While I was laying on the gurney in the emergency room, there was a nurse there, and I said, excuse me, miss, can I please get a phone? Can you give me the phone? She went and got a cordless phone and brought it to me, and my fingers were just like so weak and nervous I couldn't dial. I said, can you dial the number for me? While I'm sitting there trying to think, I couldn't think of anybody's phone number but my sister, whose house I just left. I just left my sister's house when I went to the club. So I called my sister, and she gave me the phone, and I called my sister. I said, tell. She was like, whose number is this? Where are you calling me from? I said, it's me. She said, why are you calling me to tell me what went on in the club? Just call me tomorrow. It's late. And I was like, tell. And when she heard my voice, she just instantly said, what happened? And I was just like, call mommy. And that's when my tears finally fell. She started screaming, what happened? What happened? And I could hear my brother-in-law, Dale, in the background screaming, what happened to Eb? What happened to Eb? And I said, she was like, please just tell me. I said, I got shot in my face. And I just descended into tears. And I was inconsolable because I just wanted my family to know what happened to me, because I really thought I was going to leave. And then they were so apathetic at the hospital. I said, I'm certainly going to be unalived in here, because they're so blasé about it. Just then, when I was crying, the nurse heard me start crying, and she came over to me, and just then the TV in the emergency room started showing that the news had gotten to the club and started reporting on what happened. And the lady tapped me and said, oh, mommy, that's you they talking about? You with the J-Lo, you saw J-Lo, what she had on? I said, Chantel, call mommy, they're gonna kill me here. The nurse asked me if I saw J-Lo and what she had on. I was disgusted. I was like, God, you would not do this to me. Don't leave me here. My sister called my mother. My mother is powerful. My mother is connected. My mother's connected to New York City, New York politics. My mother got on the phone. In no time, I was transported in a level 1 trauma ambulance from there to from St. Clair's to St. Vincent's and rushed into surgery. Had they not gotten me there in time, this is what the doctor said to me. Had they not gotten me there and gotten me into surgery in time, I would have aspirated, a bullet was going down my throat, I would have aspirated into my lungs. Now, let me tell you something. When they got me there, my mother and my sister arrived at the hospital at almost simultaneously at the same time. I can remember my little sister over my mother's shoulder, crying inconsolably, holding her face. And I kept thinking, what do I look like? And my mother was over the gurney when they were taking me down the hallway. And I said, Mommy, tell my kids I love them. Raise my kids.
Natania, I'm
Raise
so
my
sorry
kids.
you're having to
And
relive
so
this.
help me God. My mother said, and I thank her for this because it kept me alive. My mother said, oh no, you raise your kids. You go in there, you have that surgery, you stay alive, you fight. I'm not raising kids, I'm a grandmother. I made cookies. Go raise your kids. Now get in there and come back. Thank God she said that to me. I was like, yes, Mommy. And it kept me alive. It kept me alive.
Natania, Natania, sorry, I just want to say, like, reliving all of this is tough. And as a podcaster and a side chat and as YouTube, I would like to just, I just need to ask you something. It's in my country, it's 10 to 6 right now. What are you doing in 2 hours time from now? Have you got more time in 2 hours time from now? I'm doing a live stream with another co-host of mine called Tommy Scoville. And because it's really easy for me and everyone else who hasn't lived this horrific trauma to want to hear more, right? I would quite like for you to take a couple hours break. We'll come back. We'll get into the J-Lo stuff. And I just want to say right now, the Sean Atwood platform is 100% open to you anytime, anywhere. We're all about the subscriber funneling, getting your audience to be bigger, because that's what people like yours voices need to be heard. But I feel like you have 101 things you want to say, right? And I want to give you the opportunity to know anytime you want to be part of my daily show, even if you just want to come and have a rant about other things with the panel members. The door is always 1,000,000% open. But I think because we're hitting the 3.5 hour mark, I would rather give you a break and let's rally at 8 o'clock, which is in 2 hours time. I will of course invite the ladies back as well, our wonderful panel members here, and Tommy Scoville. There we go. We'll get you back once you answer your call. Just because I feel like, you know, no, I'm pretty sure you never planned to tell this story today, Natania, and I would just much rather. I'd feel more comfortable giving you a break, and then we'll rally, and then we'll take the J-Lo side of this, and we'll just slap her out of the park, metaphorically speaking, because we are all here. We stand by you. You're not having to convince anyone of anything here. We're with you.
We love you. We believe in you, and you are a God sent.
Natania,
you are giving me back. You're giving me back hope.
Yeah, me too. Natania, I sent you an email to see if you want to come, and maybe Ron can give you my details if you want to come on my channel. Because I'd love to have, you know, like I talk about with another YouTuber called Tina. She's also British. And I mean, she's also gone through stuff herself. So, and we're all believing God. I mean, Ron, no, but I do.
No, excuse me. I believe in different gods to you guys. I personally believe there's room for all the gods. Okay, we can all argue who's got the best God, all of that, but believe it or not, a couple of billion people from throughout history have mauled each other to death over these points. So for me, everyone's right. Everyone's God exists, and we can all get along in a world where no one has to do atrocities in the name of faith.
It's about finding strength, and Natania is the proof that God, what you want to call it, gives you strength. And gives you a purpose. Because I can see how strong and how much you're driven by your purpose. You remind me a lot of Paula. I'm not gonna lie. I admire both of you so much to be able to lose so much.
It's
God is the great redeemer, and he is going to. God is the great redeemer, and he's going to make sure that all of us get our recompense. He promised us that. You walk according to my will and my way. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, there too am I. And so I know he is always with me. There was a time I cried out and I said, God, you said you would never leave me. Just like the footprints thing. You said you would never leave me. When my tough times, I felt like I only saw one footprint in the sand. Why would you leave me? He said, when you saw one footprint, it was me carrying you. He will never leave.
Yeah, you have to come to my channel. We have to talk so much. There's so much to talk
Absolutely.
about. But also, we'll
Thank
hopefully see you in a couple of hours, you know, because
Okay.
I'd love
And
to
I
have
watched
you.
Tommy Scoville. I watched Tommy
I sent you an
Scoville a lot.
email. So
Watch Tommy Scoville. Yeah, that's
I do.
awesome. And Paula and Maggie and all the people that we have on the panel here, they are all gems. So anyone saying you want to come to my channel, anything like that, have no fear. There's definitely nothing to be worried about. These are all.
I don't walk with fear.
Are you kidding? This lady has a gun and God for, you know.
Oh yeah, you can talk about how scary Diddy is. It's nothing compared to Twitter or the side chat. Nothing is more scarier than public opinion. Okay, so and again, I just want to say thank you for speaking up in the side chat. Thank you for all of this. I cannot wait to touch base with you later. Thank you to Maggie. Thank you to Paula. Thank you to Shane, who was here, and to Trisha. Thank you to the side chat. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to the Sean Atwood channel. And most of all, thank you to you, Natania, for, I tell you what, I'll be honest with you. Your story has put you in a category with me of you were chosen by a higher power. So technically you're invincible, right? So I mean, it's amazing you got shot in the face, but I imagine it could happen another 8 times and nothing really bad would happen because you've got invincible status, right? Until your mission's done, right? Oh, also one last question. Ever had pneumonia?
Never.
Okay, good.
And that's why when I was on News Nation, I said, listen, I am a healthy, risk-averse woman. I live a quiet life. If anything should happen to me, it would require very extreme investigation. Because I understand what I'm against, but I don't walk with fear. And that's what drives them crazy. Because
if you suddenly win any watches in a competition you never entered that are shipped to your house, just burn them. Okay, they go. Yeah, good, right, nice one. Okay, well, listen. Once again, thank you so much.
I'll see you guys in a couple of hours.
We'll see you in a couple of hours. I think it was Kaza on Discord who was liaising with you. So it'll either be Shane, myself, or Kaza, depending on which one gets to you first. And thank you so much for your time. And I can't wait for the show later on. Thank you, everyone in the side chat. Thank you to the ladies. Thank you to Natania. Thank you to the mods. And from me, Ron Swanson, as always.
Who followed me. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, listen, we're listen.
Get you to 100.
We're gonna make our purpose to increase your voice through, because I'm telling you now, we get about 2,000 plus average daily viewers just on our wee show here. But some of our shows can get up to 10, 12, 15,000 viewers. We're just going to make sure you get a bunch of new subscribers, because our community here is all about individuals like yourself. And at side chat, give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself a pat on the back for being so awesome. And we'll see you guys in a couple of hours. Scoville, Swanson, Natania, the panel,